Chapter 1845. Beyond the Milky Way of the human realm, there was a boundless void that stretched as far as the eye could see. Sakra was still sitting cross-legged in the sky, peering immortal formation. The Void Emperor and Emperor of Grand Harmony's realms had plummeted. They used all sorts of methods, but they couldn't break free of the formation that Sakra had meticulously prepared for them. Karmic luck continued to pour into Sakra, making him a sub-immortal. The Void Emperor and Emperor of Grand Harmony looked much older than before, as if they'd completely given up on struggling. They'd never thought that they'd be schemed against by a junior to this extent. "You've already taken a large amount of our power. Why don't you stop now?" The Void Emperor said weakly. "Don't worry, I'm still lacking a bit of karmic luck. Once I've accumulated enough, I'll definitely let you go," Sakra said smugly. Emperor of Grand Harmony didn't say anything. He kept holding on to his last bit of power, thinking to himself, "When I get out, I'll definitely slaughter this dog." Sakra still patiently peeped at the power of these two, and when he reached a certain extent, he finally revealed a cold smile. "It has been hard on the two of you during this period of time. Now let me free you." In the next moment, a dagger filled with immortal light floated and shot toward the Void Emperor's forehead. The Void Emperor had long been restrained by the sky-peering immortal formation. He couldn't move and lost all his power. The dagger pierced through him, and even his soul was destroyed. A sub-immortal had lost his life just like that. Emperor of Grand Harmony roared when he sensed the killing intent. "I'll take you down with me." He'd been compressing his power all this time and gathering it in one place. When Sakra wanted to kill him, he threw caution to the wind. Bang! Emperor of Grand Harmony chose to self-destruct. Sakra had long been prepared for this. He activated the formation and reversed heaven and earth, dissipating the power of the explosion. Isn't it too late to self-destruct now? Sakra wasn't injured at all, and the immortal formation wasn't destroyed. After putting away the immortal item left behind by the Void Emperor, he flew toward the human realm. Now that he was blessed with providence, he could enter the human world to find the location of the realm's spirit. Not long after he left, a figure suddenly appeared in the void. It was the appearance of the Void Emperor. He sat cross-legged at Sakra's original position and activated the sky-peering immortal array that had yet to be removed. "My good disciple, let's see who will obtain the world spirit's power in the end." Transcendent Worlds, Dragon Phoenix Abyss. When Yang Wu and Little He came to this place again, they couldn't help but think of their youth. This place was considered a forbidden ground even for God-level experts. Now that Yang Wu had reached the peak of the true God realm, he was no longer afraid of the dangers here. He circulated the Supreme Nine Mysteries formula and felt the existence of the mysterious essence Qi. "Master, after that passage, I don't know where it leads to. There's boundless baleful Qi of heaven and earth, as well as the origin Qi of heaven and earth. It's like the primordial space where heaven and earth first separated," Little He said as she recalled. "This is the human realm. If it's not a passage to another realm, then it could be a forbidden space that leads directly to the human realm. No matter what, I have to replenish the last of the mysterious essence Qi and find out if the Supreme Nine Mysteries formula is the strongest immortal art," Yang Wu replied. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula was the immortal art he had obtained from the primordial boundary steel of the immortal world. It was also the reason why he had been banished to the lower realm to be reborn. "I'm fine with it. I'm just afraid that Master's reborn body won't be able to withstand the baleful Qi of heaven and earth. You have to be careful. It's rare for you to be so considerate of me. Allow me to return to the immortal realm, and the seal on your body will be completely undone. At that time, you can go to Mother's place to steal immortal peaches again. I'm innocent. I don't have the guts." "If you don't have the guts, how did the immortal peach tree grow in my body?" "That was an accident." "It was an accident." Unknowingly, they had once again arrived before the Dragon Phoenix tree. It was still alive and well. Its dragon-shaped roots were planted into the ground, and its phoenix-like branches covered the surroundings. Its cultivation level had reached a higher level, and its vitality was even more extraordinary. It had once traded with Yang Wu and obtained immortal elixir. It could be considered a divine tree that had entered the true god realm. "Why are you two here?" The dragon phoenix tree greeted Yang Wu and Little Hay when it saw them. "Woof woof. We want to get a few dragon phoenix fruits from you." Little Hay jumped over and said, "If you want to eat, then take them." The dragon phoenix tree was generous. It tossed a few dragon phoenix fruits to Yang Wu and Little Hay. The man and dog caught the fruits and ate without hesitation. It was the dragon phoenix tree's treat for its guest. "I want to go to that passage." Yang Wu directly stated his intentions. "I knew you would come here for this. You know better than anyone how dangerous that place is. Are you sure you want to go?" The dragon phoenix tree asked. "Of course." Yang Wu nodded. "Then," he said, "but before that you should leave this place with me. Maybe something will happen soon, and there won't be much point for you to stay here." "Why should I leave with you?" the dragon phoenix tree asked. "Because I can help you become more advanced and live longer." The power of the immortal Tao surged on Yang Wu's body, releasing wisps of immortal qi. It made him look like an immortal had descended. The dragon phoenix tree sensed the immortal Tao qi and was subdued. If it could obtain the immortal qi, it might be able to transform into an immortal tree one day. "If you come out of there alive, I will go with you." The dragon phoenix tree immediately made a decision. "Okay, then just wait." Yang Wu nodded in response and asked it to open the mysterious passage. The ground under the dragon phoenix tree cracked open, and a passage full of murderous aura appeared. Yang Wu and Little Hay directly stepped into it. Waves of murderous aura surged. It could kill immortal realm creatures, but it was not very effective against them. There were many remnant items on the left and right of the passage. There were sacred items and divine items, but Yang Wu and Little Hay did not care about these things. Soon, they arrived at the deepest part of the passage. There was an ancient stone door. After opening the stone door, they would enter an unknown space. "Master, you must be careful. Be careful. Don't die," Little Hay reminded. The response it received was a slap from Yang Wu, smashing it to the ground. Yang Wu said, "Don't say such inauspicious things." He circulated the sovereign 9 profound arts, and confirmed that his sense of the profound essence qi was growing stronger. Only then did he take out an ancient bronze eye. This was an item he had obtained many years ago. This was the key to opening the stone door. Yang Wu was very bold in both his previous and current lives. At this point, there was no reason to retreat. He threw the ancient bronze eye over and embedded it in the stone door. The stone door slowly opened, and waves of murderous aura surged out, accompanied by the qi of heaven and earth. Yang Wu and Little Hay acted as if they were facing a great enemy. The power of the immortal Tao surged from their bodies, forming the black tortoise battle armor and dispelling the murderous aura. At first, the battle armor was able to withstand the murderous aura. However, as more and more of it entered, the murderous aura seeped into the battle armor and began to corrode the flesh. Even a true god expert would not be able to withstand it. This was the terrifying aspect of the murderous aura of heaven and earth. Yang Wu continued to ignore it as he circulated the Supreme 9 Mysteries mantra. Regardless of whether it was the baleful qi of heaven and earth or the source qi of heaven and earth, he absorbed them all. His immortal foundation's power continued to circulate, reducing the damage to his body. As for the immortal immortality peach tree, it absorbed all these powers to strengthen itself. "Let's go." Yang Wu saw that the stone door was about to open, so he rushed over with Little Hay. Whoosh, whoosh. The terrifying murderous aura of heaven and earth rushed over. Even a monarch-level creature would not be able to withstand such primitive power for long. Yang Wu also felt a great pressure. However, the immortal Tao surged, forming a powerful defense. Then, the black disk shield appeared and the bronze cauldron floated above his head. It released boundless immortal light and forcibly blocked the murderous aura of heaven and earth. Yang Wu opened his soul eye and looked at the vast space outside. He felt as if he had entered a primitive space. Only the chi of heaven and earth and the boundless murderous aura remained. There was also the chi of primal chaos, the chi of yin and yang, and even the extremely rare black and yellow chi. Could this be the energy core of the transcendent realm? Yang Wu could not help but wonder. That is possible. There is a lot of primitive power. Master, you can go into seclusion here and break through to immortal ascension. Little Hay shouted excitedly. Don't be so happy. The murderous aura of heaven and earth is seeping in very quickly. My body might not be able to withstand it. The black disk shield might not be able to withstand it for long. I think the bronze cauldron is also in danger. Yang Wu revealed an anxious expression. Then let's hurry up and find the mysterious essence chi. As long as we can get the mysterious essence chi, we can leave this place. Little Hay quickly said. Yang Wu did not say another word. He pushed forward in the direction he sensed. The primitive power in all directions was enough to make even immortal ascension realm creatures' eyes turn red. The immortal peach tree in his body also repeatedly shouted, Master, let me out. I can absorb the power here and bear fruit. Yang Wu ignored it. The murderous aura of heaven and earth was too terrifying. He would definitely die if he touched it. He did not want to joke around with his life. This place was hazy and it was difficult to see the situation in the distance. They could only move according to the direction they sensed. The pressure on Yang Wu grew stronger and stronger. He muttered, Don't tell me we have entered the world spirit space? Once, when he reached the first level in the All Saints Temple, he was fortunate enough to see the world spirit. It was located in a place filled with chi of heaven and earth. Although this place contained other kinds of primitive chi, it was very similar to the place where the world spirit was. His sense of the mysterious essence chi grew stronger and stronger. He did not know where he had arrived. The black disk shield was almost disintegrated. Yang Wu pulled Little Hay directly into the bronze cauldron. Under its protection, they continued to move forward. After an unknown amount of time, they saw a snake formed by the chi of heaven and earth. It looked like a real snake. It wriggled into the depths of the cauldron. They could not see where its head was, nor could they see where its tail was. Such a shocking scene stunned them. You are here. Chapter 1846. A faintly discernible voice drilled into Yang Wu's ears, and a hazy figure appeared in front of Yang Wu and Little Hay. It had the appearance of a woman, incomparably sacred and incomparably mysterious. Yang Wu looked at the appearance condensed from the source chi of heaven and earth and cried out involuntarily, You're a realm spirit? Or goddess envoi? Yang Wu never thought that he would come directly to the center of the human realm from the mysterious passage and see the human realm's realm spirit again. He had seen a realm spirit once in the All Saints Temple, but he felt that it was a dream. This time, however, he felt that it was very real. This realm spirit had the body of a long snake, and the upper body was that of a woman. She hadn't fully appeared, but he was already incomparably shocked. There was an ancient legend that was also circulated in the immortal realm. Goddess Envoi created the human realm and gave birth to the human race. She represented the only god of the human race, a supreme existence. In the immortal realm, Goddess Envoi also had an incomparably high status. Unfortunately, she had already passed away. Yang Wu never thought that he would see a supreme existence like Goddess Envoi here. He immediately confirmed that Goddess Envoi was the human realm's realm spirit, and that the human realm was destroyed. Was she harmed? A series of questions hung in his mind, making him feel a bit confused. You can say that. The creature with the human form and snake body replied. After a pause, she continued, There was once a creature that called me Envoi. Yang Wu greets Goddess Envoi. Yang Wu was completely certain that she was Goddess Envoi, and the legend of her creating humans was definitely not false. This was the most ancient creature, even older than the immortals. No need for formalities. Goddess Envoi said, I've seen you before. This time you came in time. If you came a bit later, I'm afraid you wouldn't be able to see me again. Why do you say that, Goddess Envoi? Yang Wu asked. Do you remember that I told you about the human realm collapsing? I remember. They want to steal the power here and become even stronger. Yes, they're already here. They're plundering the power of this place. They'll find this place very soon. I won't be able to stop them then. Once they've absorbed the power of this place, I'll disappear along with them. The human realm will completely collapse, and all living creatures will die. Do you want to see this tragedy happen? Is there anything I can do for you, Goddess? Yang Wu asked with a frown. You've cultivated the technique I created, and there's mysterious essence chi here that can complete your technique and help you become even stronger. Take over my position as the guardian of the human realm and drive away all the creatures that want to destroy this place. Repair the human realm, and let the great Tao return to one. Are you willing? Goddess Envoi said. At the same time, an incomparably dazzling mysterious essence chi appeared near her. It was Yang Wu's mysterious essence chi. It was the last type of mysterious essence chi that Yang Wu needed. Once it was completed, the Regal Nine Mysteries technique would become the strongest immortal technique. The Regal Nine Mysteries technique was created by you, Goddess Envoi? Yang Wu was stunned. Back then, I created this technique to repair the Great Tao. Unfortunately, there were some people who didn't want to see the human realm intact, and they didn't want me to exist. Back then, after I was heavily injured by them, I could only leave this technique behind. When the fated person succeeds in cultivating it and finally comes to see me, I'll be able to remove the burden of protecting the human realm. Goddess Envoi calmly explained the past. So when Goddess Envoi saw me for the first time, you already knew that I cultivated this technique? However, I also gave you a choice and asked if you were willing to stay. At that time, you also refused. Now I will give you another chance to choose. I can give you the profound essence chi to complete your Xian formula and help you reach the sky in one step, but you have to deal with those guys with ulterior motives and become the guardian of the human world. If you are not willing, I will send you out now and you can forget about the last profound essence chi. Except for this profound essence chi, there will not be any other profound essence chi that can complete your Xian formula, but it is enough for you to live well. Yang Wu said without hesitation, I have no other choice. Goddess Envoi, you've already calculated this day. I promise you, I'll protect the human realm. There were countless creatures in the human realm. He couldn't bear to see the human realm destroyed like this. Moreover, whether it was in his previous life or this life, he was born and raised in the human realm. How could people forget their roots? Perhaps this was the true meaning of his reincarnation. You didn't disappoint me. Take it, Envoi said. The ball of mysterious essence chi that was like a sun enveloped Yang Wu. Yang Wu released the Supreme Nine Mysteries formula and accepted the mysterious essence chi. In an instant, Yang Wu felt as if his body was enveloped by the sun. The boundless power almost refined his entire body, causing him to scream in pain. This ball of mysterious essence chi was used to supplement his yang-deficient body and help him become even stronger. The 13 suns erupted at the same time and absorbed the mysterious essence chi. The immortal Tao imprinted in it emitted an inexplicable brilliance, as if it was alive. Immortal Tao flew out and began to intertwine above the ball of mysterious essence chi. There was a feeling of 13 suns merging into one. Ordinary Emperor-level experts could ascend to the immortal realm after 9 suns merged into one. However, Yang Wu's 13 suns merged into one also meant that he could advance towards the immortal realm. This was a major turning point. It was also at this moment that some living beings finally arrived at the central region. The first to arrive was Kuan-Mingzi. A celestial pot floated above his head, and there was also a celestial seal in front of him to protect him. He looked at the vast chi of the world and said excitedly, "This is the central region of the mortal world, the source of all chi. Haha, there is hope for my 9 sons to become one." He didn't rashly go to the central area. Instead, he frantically absorbed the chi of heaven and earth here, and carried out the final step of merging the 9 suns into one, entering the immortal realm, and then collecting more power. No, if this is the central area of the human realm, then can I meet a realm spirit and obtain its power? Kuan-Mingzi cultivated for a while, but he didn't manage to absorb too much power. Only a large amount of baleful aura surged towards him. He couldn't help but think of a possibility. His eyes flashed with greed. Then, he continued to move forward boldly. Sure enough, he saw the human-headed snake-bodied goddess Nvois. "You're able to come here because you're lucky. You can make a wish. If I can do it, I'll do my best to satisfy you." Goddess Nvois said, "I want to obtain the power here." Kuan-Mingzi said excitedly. "Okay." Goddess Nvois said. Whoever could obtain luck would be able to obtain a gift from her. She would never be biased. Even if she could sense Kuan-Mingzi's ulterior motives, she would still help him. Kuan-Mingzi was overjoyed. The chi of heaven and earth surged towards him, helping him cultivate. He immediately entered a state of cultivation and didn't think about anything else. Everything would wait until he entered the immortal realm, then he would think of a way to occupy everything here. In another direction, Sakra also came. After he took a peek at the human realm's luck, he immediately used a secret technique to communicate with the human realm's world spirit and directly moved to the center of this place. Just like Kuan-Mingzi, he requested to stay here and cultivate. Goddess Nvois also agreed to his request. "I want to become an immortal in a single step, haha!" Sakra cried out in ecstasy in his heart. The great Tao here was complete. The chi of heaven and earth was rich. As long as he borrowed the environment here, he could complete the final step of merging the 9 suns into one and become an immortal. This was the dream of every expert, the dream of immortality. Not long after Sakra came in, Void Emperor also came. This guy didn't truly die. He used the death substitution immortal technique, and the one that died was only a fake body. This one was his real body. After he absorbed the human realm's luck, he also smoothly arrived here. However, he didn't appear in the same place as Sakra. "I can fulfill your wish," Goddess Nvois said. "I want you." Void Emperor's eyes shone with an indescribable brilliance. Immortal chi lingered around his body and his aura soared to the heavens. After seeing through the baleful aura here, he didn't seem like a subimmortal at all. He was a true immortal realm expert. "You have evil intentions. Leave." Goddess Nvois shouted and waved her arm. A powerful repulsive force crushed towards Void Emperor. Void Emperor's figure flew backwards, but he didn't die immediately. He had luck on him, which wasn't something that Nvois could easily get rid of. "Nvois, don't struggle. Give the human realm to me. I can become a supreme immortal." The Void Sovereign roared. Immortal chi gushed out from him as his strength grew. He opened his mouth and sucked in a large amount of energy into his stomach. His strength rose steadily. Boundless immortal light floated around him as a gigantic black hole was formed. The energy here was being sucked into the black hole. And in the faraway immortal world, in a supreme cave dwelling, there was an immortal-level creature devouring the energy here. "This time, I'm going to devour all the energy of the world spirit," the immortal realm expert said with an incomparably proud look. Such a powerful method could only be done by immortal venerables. Female Snail was the world spirit of this place. She possessed unfathomable methods. Back then, when those powerful existences from the ancient era wanted to seize her power, they were all chased away by her. This time, she would not let the Void Emperor succeed so easily. Boundless power surged and slammed towards the Void Emperor, wanting to destroy the huge black hole. An immortal weapon emerged from the black hole. It was a huge black bell. Under the Void Emperor's control, it enveloped N'Vois. Boundless immortal Tao energy erupted. How terrifying was that? At the same time, a sinister voice rang out from another direction. Want to devour N'Vois' energy alone? It's not that easy. This lord will also take a share. Chapter 1847. This person was Xie master. This was the undying demon race's clone, and not his real body. However, to some experts, the strength of the clone was not much weaker than the real body. After this undying demon race's clone came to this space, his body suddenly underwent a large change. He changed from the undying demon race to a middle-aged man. His aura was outstanding and his immortal aura was faintly discernible. There was no trace of demonic qi at all. If Yang Wu was here, he would definitely find that he was similar to the Medicine God Temple's Medicine Emperor. The only difference was that this person was younger and more energetic. He was no one else but the Medicine Emperor. He had been looking for a chance to enter the center of the human world for many years. Only when Xie appeared did he finally have the chance. Although he was the Medicine Emperor, his body had already been taken over by an immortal spirit. He was no longer him. As for who he was, only he knew. The Medicine Emperor appeared the same as the Void Emperor, wanting to devour the spiritual energy of the human world. He took out a magic cauldron and the cauldron kept growing, enveloping the heaven and earth energy here. This magic cauldron had a special origin. It was called the Demonic Dragon Immortal Cauldron. It was refined from the Demonic Dragon Immortal Bone and Demonic Dragon Immortal Scale. Its devouring power was not inferior to the Void Immortal Bell the Void Emperor had used. This was a top-grade immortal weapon, and it was devouring the energy here. N'Vois angrily said, "You still haven't given up on your evil intentions. Leave this place for me." She continued to wield the power of this place. Her snake body rolled and slammed against the two immortal weapons. The surging heaven and earth energy contained an incomparably terrifying killing power. Even immortal-level beings would die under the pressure of this power. The Void Monarch and Alchemy Emperor found it hard to bear. Their bodies were on the verge of collapsing, and blood spurted out from their mouth. They hurriedly hid under the immortal weapons. Boundless immortal qi floated around their bodies, fusing with the immortal weapons and continuing to increase the devouring power. However, that was not all. Each of them sent out another two immortal weapons. One was the immortal extermination halberd, and the other was the heaven-cleaving saber. These were immortal weapons filled with offensive power. They were controlled by the power of the immortal Tao from afar, constantly attacking N'Vois. As long as they could disperse N'Vois, they would be able to smoothly absorb all the energy here. At the same time, Kuan Mingzi and Sakura both felt the turbulence in this space, which awakened them from their cultivation. It seems like someone is still spying on the power here. I have to quickly fuse with the Nine Suns. Kuan Mingzi thought to himself. Immediately after, he circulated the immortal art at full speed and frantically absorbed the energy here, further integrating the Nine Suns into one. Sakura didn't have Kuan Mingzi's ability, but he was also frantically absorbing the power here. He was worried that the opportunity here would soon have nothing to do with him. Yang Wu, who was at the center, wasn't affected. He was still surrounded by the densest source qi of heaven and earth. No matter how turbulent the outside world was, it didn't seem to have much to do with him. After the Supreme Nine Profound Arts obtained the last type of Profound Essence Qi, the 9 types of Profound Essence Qi fused into the Profound Arts, causing the Profound Arts to completely evolve. A brand new method of operation moved in Yang Wu's body, as if every pore of his was a place to devour energy. With every breath, a lot of energy entered his body through his pores. The power of the 13 suns reached its peak, and his entire body was filled with the power of the immortal Tao. This power became incomparably perfect, and a lot of heaven and earth source qi gathered into a furnace, surging within his immortal bridge, and forging his immortal body. When the power of the immortal bridge completely evolved, his immortal body would become complete, and he would ascend to the heavens and become an immortal in a single step. Little Hay wasn't protected. She felt the surging waves of energy here. Her canine eyes shone brightly. She could vaguely see the afterimages of battle. She couldn't help but think to herself, someone is seizing the power of the boundary spirit. Everyone knew that the power of the boundary spirit was the opportunity to become an immortal. However, since ancient times, not many people had been able to reach this place. Now, many people had come here. Did this mean that the boundary spirit this time was going to be dangerous? Master, oh Master, you should hurry up and break through, Little Hay muttered. While the fierce battle was taking place here, the 81 realms all suffered different degrees of disasters. Some places suddenly experienced violent earthquakes and lost many lives. Some 10,000-year-old volcanoes suddenly erupted, burning the land within a 1,000-mile radius to the point where not even a blade of grass could grow. Some places experienced avalanches. It was very rare for such huge natural and man-made disasters to completely erupt at the same time. The living beings of the mortal world all felt a strong sense of unease. It was as if the end of the world had arrived, causing them to feel fear. After an unknown amount of time, Nvoa appeared beside Yang Wu. Her power had become very weak. The boundless qi of heaven and earth was constantly collapsing. She wiped away her grief and said, "Your breakthrough is too slow. Let me lend you a hand. I hope that you can quickly break through and be able to deal with them. Once the power here collapses, the 81 realms will be completely destroyed. The mortal world will be completely finished. Countless living beings were born because of me, and they will also die because of me. However, they are all innocent. I don't want them to die. My hope is on you." A large amount of qi of heaven and earth once again entered Yang Wu's body. It was extremely dense. Compared to where Kuan Mingzi and Sakura were, it was unknown how many times denser it was. "Goddess Nvoa, you have to hold on. Little Hay, go help her. Even if you have to break the seal, you have to help her." Yang Wu transmitted his voice to Little Hay. Then, 2 immortal weapons flew out and flew towards Little Hay. They were the lightning hammer and the electric fork. These 2 divine weapons could control the power of lightning. Little Hay barked and straightened its body. Its left and right paws grasped the 2 immortal weapons. Goddess Nvoa directly moved it to the front of the battlefield, facing the Void Emperor and Alchemy Emperor. The 2 of them each held a top-grade immortal weapon and crazily absorbed the qi of heaven and earth here. "Lord Immortal Emperor is here. You dare to act recklessly? I'll make you all die a horrible death." Little Hay's immortal qi erupted. The power of the seal was on the verge of exploding. The lightning hammer and the electric fork attacked the 2 immortal weapons at the same time. Nvoa wanted to help Little Hay. The qi of heaven and earth turned into chaotic lightning to strengthen the offensive power of the immortal weapons. In just a moment, the 2 overbearing immortal weapons were blocked. "So it's the immortal pet of true Lord Erlang. How dare you spoil my plans? You'll die just the same." A cold snort was heard from the black hole. The power of the immortal Tao was continuously transmitted, controlling the immortal exterminating halberd to smash down madly. The power of the halberd swept in all directions, suppressing the lightning hammer. On the other side, the Heaven Splitter Saber was also infused with the power of the immortal Tao, slashing towards the electric fork. The 2 immortal weapons were controlled by immortal venerables from a distance. They fought with Little Hay, giving Nvoa some breathing space. At the same time, in the mortal world of the transcendent world, the barbarian god mountain suddenly shook violently. The majestic divine mountain began to crumble. Suddenly, a powerful divine light flickered in the barbarian god ancestral temple. A huge shadow soared into the sky. When the barbarian god mountain completely collapsed, the shadow crashed into the heavenly stairway. Not only was the heavenly stairway not destroyed along with the barbarian god mountain, it turned into a boundless immortal stairway and swept towards the center of the mortal world. Soon, the immortal stairway crashed into the region. A huge shadow appeared, and a wild voice rang out, "Finally, you can't suppress this immortal venerable anymore." The giant shadow was filled with a strong domineering aura. His upper body was naked, revealing his powerful muscles. There were also streams of immortal Tao intertwining around him. His bell-sized eyes were filled with hostility. This was the god of the barbarian race. When the Void Monarch saw him, he shouted, "Chi Yu? I didn't expect this big guy to still be alive. However, he's only an immortal spiritual body now." Yao Di also looked at the huge shadow and said. Obviously, they knew this new guy. He was immortal venerable Chi Yu who once roamed the sixth world. He was born with brute force and possessed all kinds of innate abilities. It was said that he was the descendant of immortal venerable Pan Gu and was also one of the main culprits behind the collapse of the mortal world. Once, he was severely injured by Emperor Xianyuan and his immortal body was destroyed. He was only left with a stream of immortal spiritual qi, which was suppressed by Nvois under the barbarian god mountain. Now that Nvois was attacked and the world around her was unstable, he was able to break through the suppression and arrive here directly. An immortal spiritual body can also be reborn. This will be my place of rebirth. Nvois, it's time for you to give up your position. Chi Yu shouted and punched towards Nvois' snake body with his bare hands. The huge fist was actually able to move the boundless chi of heaven and earth here. It was truly terrifying. Nvois swung her snake tail, and the boundless chi of heaven and earth formed a torrent that collided with Chi Yu's attack. Terrifying chi waves rolled and rippled outwards. Puff! Sakura, who was far away, was affected by these chi waves. Before he could break through to the immortal realm, he vomited a mouthful of blood and frantically retreated in fear. What happened here? Why is the power so unstable? Sakura shouted and looked towards a direction. He could barely see Chi Yu's huge figure and that long snake body colliding with each other. He was scared out of his wit. I'm afraid I can't stay here for long. I'll leave after I collect some chi of heaven and earth. Sakura knew when to stop. He hurriedly thought of all ways to collect more chi of heaven and earth. Right now, he was only half a step away from successfully breaking through. He couldn't let all his previous efforts go to waste. Unfortunately, Nvois had already retracted the power and he couldn't collect even a trace of it. There was even more power rippling towards him. That was the baleful chi of heaven and earth. After he lost the protection of Nvois' female body, how was he going to withstand this baleful chi that even immortals couldn't withstand? Not good. Sakura shouted madly. He used his immortal weapon to block in front of him and desperately tried to escape from here. Unfortunately, without Nvois' permission, he couldn't get out at all. The baleful chi of heaven and earth rolled over like a torrent and Sakura was directly corroded into nothingness by this billowing baleful chi. He couldn't be any more dead. His dream of becoming an immortal was close at hand. However, this close at hand became the distance between heaven and earth. It could no longer be realized. Chapter 1848. Sakura had died, but Kuan-Mingzi was much luckier than him. Using the last of the chi of heaven and earth he absorbed, he refined the immortal crystals in his body. The 9 suns merged into one, and the chains of the immortal Tao merged. His power once again spread to every part of his body. Streams of immortal chi nourished his meridians, acupoints, and organs, forming a faint layer of light. That was the body of an immortal. After he became an immortal, the baleful chi of heaven and earth rushed over. He was able to block it with his powerful icy chi, but he was also swept away. Some of the baleful chi seeped into his body, and he was so scared that he quickly forced it out of his body. He had just become an immortal. If he was injured by these forces and left behind sequelae, it would not be good. Fortunately, after he became an immortal, his strength was incomparably strong, and he blocked the baleful chi of heaven and earth. Moreover, the immortal seal, under the infusion of his immortal chi, released immortal might, and finally blocked several waves of attacks, stabilizing his realm. Koenmingzi was reborn. He was full of vitality, and his immortal chi was awe-inspiring. He shouted with great joy, "Haha, I finally became an immortal again." The power around him had been sucked dry, and was used by Envoi to deal with the Void Emperor, the Medicine Emperor, and Chiyu. Koenmingzi stretched his body, and then looked into the distance. He saw the battle clearly, and saw that there was a different kind of power behind him that was not affected at all. He was immediately moved and murmured, "Could that be the core power?" Thinking of this, his heart burned with passion, and then he quickly rushed in that direction. When he got close to the incomparably dense chi of heaven and earth, a greedy look appeared on his face. He could not see Yang Wu inside, so he took out a divine bottle and enveloped the chi of heaven and earth, wanting to absorb it completely. Before he could do anything, a force like a snake's tail whipped over. Bang! Koenmingzi could not block it in time, and was sent flying while vomiting blood. He only felt that his bones and tendons were almost broken, but in a breath, he quickly recovered. This was the strength of the immortal realm. It was an absolute immortal body. Only an extremely domineering power of the same level could destroy every drop of the immortal blood in order to truly kill them. Looks like that really is the core power. Since someone has already restrained most of your power, leave this core power to me. Koenmingzi murmured. Immortal chi surged out of him. He turned into a beam of icy light and shot towards the ball of energy. However, no matter how many immortal chi of heaven and earth, there was a force of heaven and earth. Repulsive force descended on Koenmingzi, and wanted to forcibly send him away. Away! Normally, with her ability, even if Koenmingzi was an immortal, he would still be repelled and forced to leave. But now, it was a little difficult. She could only stop Koenmingzi from getting close to Yang Wu, and buy some time for Yang Wu. Yang Wu was different from ordinary people. Although he was successful in fusing with Yang Keixian's essence, when he entered the immortal realm, it was very difficult. The power of the 13 suns was fused into one, and all the power was converted into immortal chi, which required time. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula had been activated to the extreme, but it was still difficult to completely complete the breakthrough in a short period of time. Now, he had completed more than half of it, and he was only half away from becoming an immortal. At that time, he would have the advantage of time and place, and he would not be afraid of any living creature. At this time, Yang Wu's body was like a furnace that was being burned by 10,000 flames. It was filled with the source chi of heaven and earth, and it seemed like it would explode at any time. However, there was also an endless suction force that kept absorbing and refining this power. The power of the 13 suns in his body was gathering and entering his dantian. Whether the only divine palace could withstand the power of the 13 suns was the key to his immortal ascension. Others could cultivate the immortal bridge and become an immortal body, and they could become an immortal. However, he felt that he had to completely condense this power into his divine palace, and form a dantian that was like an immortal elixir. Only then could he succeed. His dantian was replaced by the immortal peach seed. Now, all the space in his dantian was filled with power, and he was afraid that it would not be able to hold on for long. The immortal peach tree was also absorbing this power, and it was growing rapidly. It had become a mature fruit tree, and many peach blossoms were blooming. Some of them were even on the verge of bearing fruit. Perhaps when he became an immortal, it would be the time for him to bear fruit. All kinds of cultivation experiences from his 2 lives appeared in Yang Wu's mind. Then, he muttered, the immortal peach seed is still an external object. Even though I have already cultivated it into my dantian and branded it into my divine palace, it is still flawed. Even if I use it to become an immortal, I will not be able to reach the peak in the future. This is the time for me to make a decision. At this point, if I destroy my dantian, it might destroy all of my power, but I already have the ability to reconstruct my dantian. Destroying it is equivalent to rebirth, just like the cycle of life and death. I will go all out. He made a decision that no one else would have thought possible. He drew out all of the power from his dantian's divine palace and fed it back to the other 12 suns and countless acupoints. He said to the immortal peach tree, "Pull out the peach seed. That is your root. From now on, you and I will be completely separated." "Master, are you sure you want to do this?" the immortal peach tree asked. "Don't talk nonsense. There is not much time left." "Hurry up," Yang Wu shouted. "Okay. Then I will really move it out." The immortal peach tree responded and activated its power. Its roots moved, and the immortal peach seed was pulled out as well. This process was not pleasant at all. Yang Wu felt as if his body had suddenly become empty. The power of the 12 suns and the power of all of his acupoints seemed to have lost its core. It was completely out of control. In the end, it would cause him to go crazy and he would explode and die. The Supreme 9 Mysteries Formula. Now is the time for you to show your ultimate power. Yang Wu roared and crazily circulated the Supreme 9 Mysteries Formula. His meridians flowed and guided all of the power in his body toward his dantian. There was no longer any dantian there. He used this power to reconstruct his dantian and condense it into the ultimate 13 suns. He also gathered the power of the 13 suns there and condensed it into an elixir of immortality. This was equivalent to refining his own power into an elixir. Fortunately, he was an alchemist, and his alchemy skills had already reached the level of perfection. Many powers fused together, and the chains of the immortal Tao kept tangling with each other to form a ball of power. It was crazily kneading and condensing into an elixir of immortality. The source chi of the universe kept seeping into his body, nourishing it. He was quickly moving toward the immortal body. It would not take long for him to complete the final step and enter the immortal realm. This was the process of going from life to death and then from death to life. It seems simple, but it was undoubtedly a trip to the gates of hell. If it were anyone else, they would have died long ago. However, Yang Wu was miraculously using the Tao of life and death to turn danger into safety. He had finally taken the most important step. In another direction, Nvois attacked with all her might. This was her territory, and she controlled countless powers. Her palms struck out continuously, as if tearing the heaven and earth apart. The 2 immortal weapons that were devouring her power were constantly sent flying. Outside the immortal realm, immortal lights would fly in from time to time and fall into the 2 immortal weapons. It was as if 2 immortal sovereigns were absorbing and devouring the power here at the same time. Chiyu was also attacking. Not only did he want to absorb the power here to strengthen his immortal spirit body, but he also wanted to destroy Nvois and gain the absolute control of this place. You guys are harboring evil intentions. You only want to strengthen yourselves, and you have never shown any mercy to the living beings in this world. I will never let you succeed. Nvois shouted, full of unwillingness. Endless snake shadows crazily attacked their opponents, forcing them to retreat step by step. Only Chiyu was fighting with his bare hand. Punch after punch, he was like a barbarian god with boundless brute force that could break the heaven and earth. You are not the only one who created this world. My ancestor, Pangu, also created this world. You just patched it up and became the guardian of this place. Now you should return it to me. Chiyu shouted. His immortal body was constantly exploding under Nvois' power, but it was regenerated time and time again. His battle chi was incomparably terrifying. On the other side, the void palms launched sneak attacks from time to time. One after another, the void palms struck towards Nvoi's vital parts. The void bell also enveloped over madly, devouring all the power of heaven and earth. As for Yao Di, it was unknown whose incarnation he was. He also had the power of an immortal sovereign helping him. The huge cauldron kept spinning, and a lot of immortal Tao energy appeared one after another, crashing into Nvoi's body. While absorbing her power, it also prevented her from regenerating. However, the two of them were not having a good time. A lot of baleful chi had corroded their bodies. If it wasn't for the powerful immortal Tao energy surrounding them, they would definitely be finished. Little He, on the other hand, wielded two immortal weapons to deal with the other two immortal weapons. For the first time, he felt incomparably vexed. He couldn't help but shout, "You guys are too weak for this immortal emperor." In the next moment, immortal chi erupted from all over his body. The power of the seal was forcibly broken. His body grew bigger, and he opened his mouth to spit out an incomparably pure true samadhi fire. It landed on the heaven-splitting saber, and forcibly incinerated it. Meanwhile, the lightning hammer and lightning fork combined and crashed into the immortal destroying halberd, destroying that immortal weapon as well. Little He spat out a mouthful of blood. He suffered a backlash from breaking the seal, and was unable to continue fighting. When he saw Kuan Mingzi getting closer and closer to Yang Wu, he dragged his injured body and rushed back. The lightning hammer and lightning fork both attacked Kuan Mingzi. Rumble! Thunder roared and lightning flashed. The rolling power of lightning was like a dragon as it blasted towards Kuan Mingzi. When Kuan Mingzi sensed danger, he waved his hand and blocked the lightning. Then, he threw it back at Little He, electrocuting Little He until his entire body convulsed. Why is the howling celestial dog here? Kuan Mingzi was puzzled. Then, he stared at the ball of chi of heaven and earth and cried out, "Could this be Yang Wu?" When he thought of this, an immortal weapon appeared in his hand. Carrying a strong killing intent, he slashed at the ball of energy. "True Lord Erlang, don't even think about becoming an immortal again. Let me send you to hell." Kuan Mingzi roared. When the immortal weapon was about to come into contact with the ball of energy suddenly shrank. A wave of energy struck out first and a voice rang out, "You can't." Chapter 1849. Yang Wu had successfully broken through. Removing his original dantian and using the immortal pill to condense it in his dantian had become the key to his immortal ascension. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula could circulate the heavenly cycle to the limit. The power of the 12 suns gathered and formed the 13th sun again. This 13th sun fused with all his immortal Tao power, and even his immortal root was refined into it. The immortal root was the foundation of immortal ascension. When the 13 suns merged and the immortal root merged, it could nourish the body. When the immortal root fell into the newly condensed 13th sun, Yang Wu entered the immortal realm. This step came naturally, as if everything was supposed to be like this. In an instant, the Supreme Nine Mysteries formula spread its power throughout his body. The power of the immortal root was distributed to every part of his body. His body completed the final transformation and became an immortal in one step. When Kuan Mingzi's attack came, he could easily block it. At this moment, his strength was too strong. It was hard to describe. It was as if he had stepped from the immortal realm to the immortal king realm. In fact, he was still in the immortal realm, but his combat strength was much stronger than ordinary immortals. The surrounding source chi of heaven and earth was devoured by him, but his aura was still rising steadily. He took Kuan Mingzi's immortal weapon with his bare hands. His palm was not injured at all, and his eyes shone with two beams of immortal light. Kuan Mingzi only felt 2 waves of immortal power hit him, forcing him to quickly retreat. "You actually took that step too." Kuan Mingzi was a little panicked. In the same realm, he would never be a match for Yang Wu. Only you are allowed to break through, but not me. This doesn't make sense. Yang Wu laughed and disappeared in front of him. When he reappeared, a fist slammed into his abdomen, sending him flying and vomiting blood. This fist was like an immortal mountain crashing over. Instantly, Kuan Mingzi felt that his newly condensed immortal body was about to explode. Yang Wu was too strong. Every move contained the complete might of the immortal Tao. The human realm had been shattered long ago. Aside from here, there was no other place that had a complete martial Tao. Coincidentally, they were here. Not only did they possess the most primitive power, they also possessed a complete Tao. It was because of this that they were able to successfully break through. After Kuan Mingzi was sent flying, he maintained his last bit of consciousness and frantically retreated. He hated that he was born with 2 more legs. He cursed in his heart, "Why is the difference so big? Why is it so big?" He really couldn't imagine that the 2 of them had just stepped into the immortal realm, but the disparity in strength was so great that it was hard for him to accept. Just as Yang Wu was about to give chase, Little Hei's voice rang out, "Master, hurry and save Her Highness Nvois. She can't hold on much longer." "Consider yourself lucky." Yang Wu cursed. The nether ice-winged blade flew out and slashed towards Kuan Mingzi, while he flew in the opposite direction. The nether ice-winged blade caught up to Kuan Mingzi and slashed towards him, cutting Kuan Mingzi's immortal body into 2 halves. He couldn't block it at all. "Get out of my way." Goddess Kuan quickly reassembled her physical body and erupted with majestic power. Boundless immortal chi surged and pushed the nether ice-winged blade away. The nether ice-winged blade didn't roll away. Instead, it condensed into Yang Wu's appearance and sneered, "Let's fight." Any wisp of immortal chi could condense into a clone. This was the terrifying thing about immortals. The nether ice-winged blade was comparable to an immortal weapon. It possessed part of Yang Wu's power and could deal with Kuan Mingzi. "I don't believe that a mere clone of yours can do anything to me." Kuan Mingzi roared and attacked continuously. The domineering power of the immortal Tao condensed into a glacier, trying to destroy Yang Wu's clone. In fact, he really couldn't do anything to a clone. Yang Wu's doppelganger was extremely fast, and its attack power was equally strong. It forced Kuan Mingzi to retreat, but it was obviously impossible to kill Kuan Mingzi. After becoming an immortal, as long as one had a drop of immortal blood, they would be able to live again. It was too difficult to kill them. Otherwise, Song Tsang and the other immortals wouldn't have been so easily suppressed. Yang Wu didn't have time to care about Kuan Mingzi. He had already charged to Nvoi's side and roared, "If you want to touch Nvois, you'll have to ask me first." At this moment, all of his immortal Tao power erupted. Boundless immortal light shrouded him, forming a terrifying aura. The thunder hammer and electric fork, he grabbed released boundless power of thunder and lightning. They surged towards the Void Emperor and the Alchemy Emperor. Rumble rumble! Yang Wu's thunder-controlling technique unleashed such an attack. It was as if the god of thunder and goddess of lightning had appeared. He controlled the thunder immortal Tao and could destroy everything. He forcefully entered the battlefield and completely enveloped them. No matter where they came from, he would fight them first. The Void Emperor and the Alchemy Emperor clearly felt the pressure. They were only possessed by immortal venerables and couldn't display the combat strength of immortal venerables. When facing Nvoi's attack, their corporeal bodies were already on the verge of being destroyed. They couldn't withstand Yang Wu's wave of attack. Fortunately, Qiyu was at the side. Even though he was only an immortal spirit body, he was still very powerful. Although he wasn't an immortal venerable, he was comparable to an immortal emperor. He was the main force suppressing Nvois. After receiving Yang Wu's help, Nvois withdrew all of her power and fought Qiyu with all of her strength. Obviously, it was much easier for Qiyu to take down Nvois. True Lord Erlang, if you get involved in this mess, you might not be able to return to the immortal world alive. the Void Emperor shouted. He held up the void bell. There wasn't much energy left in the surroundings to absorb. Nvois had kept it all. He used the void bell to resist Yang Wu's lightning hammer while threatening. Junior brother, if we work together to take down the energy here, not only can we become immortals in a single step, we can also become immortals of a world and have a high status in the immortal world. You should retreat for the time being. The Alchemy Emperor faintly said. Yang Wu continued to suppress the two with boundless lightning. He had already made up his mind to destroy their corporeal bodies, so that they wouldn't be able to use the immortal Tao to attack across the world. What surprised him was that the Alchemy Emperor was actually here. Moreover, he felt a familiar aura, as if he was related to Xie master. When Nvois sent a message to his mind, he immediately understood that this fellow was Xie master. Moreover, he wasn't the Alchemy Emperor himself. He had been controlled by an immortal venerable and was just a puppet. I don't care who you are. You don't have to leave today. Yang Wu roared. He waved the lightning hammer and the electric fork left and right. Wave after wave of energy exploded, bombarding them at the same time, forcing them to retreat continuously. True Lord Erlang, you're courting death. The immortal venerable controlling the Void Emperor was enraged. A large amount of immortal Tao energy descended on the Void Emperor. He raised the void bell and broke through the lightning bolts, pressing down on Yang Wu. The Alchemy Emperor didn't go all out and was clearly retreating. He wanted to reap the benefits of the battle. It's not certain who's courting death. Yang Wu didn't show the slightest fear. The lightning hammer and the electric fork were merciless. Boundless chaotic lightning energy exploded, causing the void bell to ring unceasingly. Wave after wave of energy kept shaking the surroundings. Although Yang Wu was strong, the Void Emperor was controlled by the immortal venerable. With the help of a top-grade immortal weapon, the Void Emperor couldn't do anything to him. Yang Wu didn't give up just like that. A soul bell flew out and a cauldron also flew out. One soul and one cauldron flew out at the same time. The soul bell buried the soul, while the bronze cauldron exploded with boundless firepower. Together, they suppressed the Void Emperor. The Void Emperor broke through the attacks here and attacked Yang Wu. The immortal pill in Yang Wu's body surged violently. The immortal qi was astonishing. The battle armor absorbed most of the opponent's power. His figure was still retreating rapidly. His immortal qi continued to circulate. Wave after wave of energy continued to clash with the void bell. Finally, the Void Emperor couldn't withstand his fierce attacks and his body began to crack. Stinky bug, how can you do evil without the help of your body this time? Yang Wu scolded excitedly. Is that so? Even so, I can still destroy you. In the distant immortal world, a cold snort sounded. The void bell knocked away all of Yang Wu's immortal weapons and fiercely slammed towards him. This was a bottomless black hole. Once he was enveloped in it, even if Yang Wu became an immortal, all of his vitality would be obliterated. Yang Wu was shocked. He didn't expect the other party to have such power. It was obvious that the other party wanted to kill him. At the crucial moment, a power swept over and forcibly sent the void bell flying. It was the Lady Snail who had lent him a helping hand. However, the moment Nvois rebelled, Qi Yu's attack fell again and directly broke a section of her snake body. That section of snake body turned into a lump of heaven and earth source Qi and was swallowed by this violent guy. He was still dissatisfied and said, "It's still a bit lacking. After I shatter you, the power of the world spirit will be mine. Yang Wu, I'll give you my power. In the future, you'll be the guardian of the mortal world." After Nvois said that, she bound all of her power and turned it into a snake shadow that surged towards Yang Wu. In an instant, Yang Wu felt an incomparably surging power enter his body, helping his aura to rise crazily. That immortal pill kept on growing. His immortal realm strength surged and broke through all the bottlenecks of the immortal realm. He reached the Immortal King realm and was even heading towards the Immortal Emperor realm. If it wasn't for Yang Wu's immortal pill being special, this bit of power would have immediately made him explode. He didn't dare to let this power continue endlessly. If that happened, he would be like Nvois and could only stay here for the rest of his life. He shouted, "Nvois, just help me. Don't pour all of your power into my body. I can't take it anymore." At the next moment, he summoned all the immortal weapons back and blasted them towards Chiyu. He was like the only god here, able to devour mountains and rivers, able to destroy heaven and earth. Every move seemed to be able to carry the power of heaven and earth, causing boundless pressure to be exerted on his opponent. Bang! The immortal weapons landed and forced Chiyu to stop. "Brat, spit out the power for me." Chiyu was also amazing. He was a human who grew up in the mortal world and had been hiding here for many years. He absorbed the fate here and wasn't rejected. Punch after punch, he met Yang Wu's attack head-on. He ignored all the pressure from the immortal weapons and was extremely domineering. Chapter 1850. Chiyu was definitely an ancient immortal venerable. His strength had reached the pinnacle and was extremely domineering. After continuously devouring a large amount of heaven and earth source chi, he had recovered quite a bit of his combat strength, but he still hadn't recovered to his peak. At most, he had reached the level of Immortal Emperor. Naturally, Yang Wu couldn't fight him with his current strength, but after receiving the power bestowed by Nvois, his combat strength wasn't any weaker than Chiyu's. At this moment, he seemed to have returned to his previous life. That unparalleled strength allowed him to look down on all the experts in the world. After exchanging a few blows with Chiyu, he felt incomparably delighted. He couldn't help but let out a long howl. "Awesome, this is really awesome." You, the shaman immortal, had once been beaten to a pulp by Yellow Emperor. I didn't expect you to endure until now. Unfortunately, you won't be able to escape this fate. Yang Wu directly used the immortal techniques of his previous life. The two immortal weapons erupted at the same time. The thunder hammer bombarded unceasingly while the electric fork filled the surroundings, completely trapping Chiyu within. The immortal Tao that had been transformed by the heaven and earth source Chi was incomparably pure. The Tao of destruction was unusually domineering. No matter what level the living being in front of him was, he would be able to destroy it. This was his invincible belief. The enemy in front of him was also one of the strongest living beings in ancient times. He had fought with the strongest living beings before. He wasn't afraid of Yang Wu's attack at all. His whole body unleashed a thick defensive force, wrapping himself up layer by layer like an immortal mountain. He crashed heavily towards Yang Wu. The power of thunder was destroyed. Ignoring the injuries on his body, he madly pushed forward, trying to overwhelm Yang Wu with his momentum. Yang Wu abandoned the two weapons. The power of the two doppelgangers was still urging them to unleash the power of thunder. His palms began to form a complicated seal. He said faintly, "Try this seal of mine. Immortal Emperor Tyrannical Seal." At this moment, he was like an immortal emperor. Boundless immortal Tao force condensed into an incomparably solemn battle shadow. Just like in his previous life, when the immortal armor covered his body and killed thousands of demons and devils. When the seal fell, even an immortal venerable would have to retreat. In his previous life, people said, "Who in the world doesn't know you?" That was because he was the invincible true Lord Erlang. It was difficult for him to find a worthy opponent in the celestial world. And now, he displayed such a method, fusing together the power imbued into him by Her Highness Nvois, causing the imprint to fly out. It was ethereal and had enough power to destroy everything. A giant axe appeared in Chiyu's hand. His eyes lit up as he shouted, "Take my axe as well. Heaven-splitting earth-splitting axe." At this moment, he was like the reincarnation of Pangu. A primordial aura spread out in all directions. When the axe descended, the heavens and earth were split apart. Who could block it? The two attacks collided, shaking the entire area. Surging heaven and earth baleful chi spread out in all directions. Kuan Mingzi and Yao Di were forced to retreat far away. They couldn't get any closer. Looking at the weakened Voix, they still didn't want to give up. They still wanted to seize some of the heaven and earth source chi from her body. However, Little He was staring at them. After Yang Wu became an immortal, the seal in the depths of Little He's body was finally broken. Its strength was rising steadily towards the immortal Emperor realm. It was extremely powerful. Woof! Woof! This immortal Emperor has finally been unsealed. I've been waiting for a long time. Is there any place in the 3,000 worlds that this immortal Emperor can't go? Little He barked excitedly. Its strength had never disappeared. It was just that it had been sealed. Now that the seal was unsealed, it had recovered. Little He's eyes locked onto Kuan Mingzi and Yao Di. It turned into a black line and appeared in front of them. Its front claws were hanging down and clawing left and right. No one could stop its incomparably sharp claws. In the past, it had followed its master's previous life to conquer the East and West. It was so famous that it wasn't even afraid of immortal venerables. Let's work together and take down this dog. Yao Di shouted. All right, Kuan Mingzi answered while changing his position and quickly escaped from this place. Originally, this place was under the control of Nvois. Now that Nvoi's strength was greatly reduced, there was no way for her to control this place. Moreover, Kuan Mingzi had reached the immortal realm. If he wanted to escape, no one could stop him. Yao Di was the same. He didn't think that Kuan Mingzi would risk his life to fight with him. With the help of an immortal venerable's aura, he fought Little He and directly abandoned his body. The demonic dragon immortal cauldron broke through the void and disappeared. Little He only managed to kill Yao Di and didn't manage to grab the demonic dragon immortal cauldron. Its other claw broke through layers of the void and landed on Kuan Mingzi, leaving a claw mark on Kuan Mingzi's body. Immortal blood dripped down. If Little He chased after Kuan Mingzi now, it might be able to stop him. However, it was worried about Yang Wu's safety and didn't chase after him. Instead, it turned back and rushed towards Yang Wu. A mouthful of true samadhi fire was spat out from its mouth. In an instant, the immortal fire covered the sky and fell on Yang Wu's back, intending to burn him to death. When the battle between Yang Wu and Qi Yu became more intense, Little He's intervention really gave Qi a headache. Fortunately, his defense was amazing. Little He's firepower couldn't hurt him immediately. He waved his axe left and right, and the vast axe seal forced Yang Wu back. At the same time, Little He's firepower was split into two, creating a path. Then, an immortal staircase was summoned by him and suppressed Little He. This heavenly staircase was like 1,000,000 tons falling. It kept growing bigger and bigger. Immortal chi surged, enough to connect heaven and earth. Even though Little He was an immortal emperor, it still felt the pressure increase greatly. With a loud cry, an immortal seal flew out and collided with the heavenly staircase. This was the immortal thunder seal. It was refined from a corner of the immortal thunder mountain. After it spat out the imprint of the power of the immortal Tao, the immortal Qi was mighty. Bang! The heavenly staircase collided with the immortal thunder seal. It was like Mars colliding with Earth. Boundless immortal Qi surged, and specks of starlight scattered in all directions. After dozens of collisions, the immortal thunder seal collapsed on the spot. Blackie didn't retreat just like that. An immortal item flew out from the universe in its body. It was an immortal chain, and it coiled around the heavenly staircase. It shouted, "Master, your immortal weapon is here." An immortal spear flew out. It was very similar to the double-edged three-dragon spear that Yang Wu was famous for. It was the three-tipped immortal spear, a top-grade immortal weapon. It roared like a dragon and flew in the direction of Yang Wu. In addition, another immortal sword flew out. That was the immortal slaying sword. Boundless immortal might transformed into streaks of sword chi, revealing boundless demonic and demonic phantoms. They were all souls that had died under the immortal slaying sword. Although true Lord Erlang was born in the lower world, his talent was so high that no one could surpass him. He killed demons and devils all the way and became the #1 war immortal. After ascending to the immortal world, he was even more powerful. He was the #1 war immortal of the immortal court. If it wasn't for offending the Jade Emperor of the immortal court and being willing to be demoted to the lower world, who would dare to compete with him? How could Qi Yu not know that these two immortal weapons were the source of Yang Wu's power? He smashed down with his axe in anger, like a falling immortal mountain, trying to knock the two immortal weapons away. But he didn't know that Yang Wu laughed and said, F***ck him. The immortal qi of the two immortal weapons exploded, as if they were responding to Yang Wu's words excitedly. They didn't dodge and directly collided with the power of the axe. Boundless power rippled out again. The spear and sword were awe-inspiring, but they didn't fly away. Instead, it was as if someone was controlling them and they were fighting back crazily. Rumble! Rumble! The deafening sound kept ringing. Yang Wu, on the other hand, attacked again and again. His punches and palms contained the power to break heaven and earth. His attacks were so dense that it was impossible to guard against. Qi Yu's defense was unparalleled. His two axes were wide open and no one could get close to him. The power of his continuous attacks was much stronger than the previous one. However, if this continued, it would be very disadvantageous for him. It wasn't easy for him to intercept the source qi of heaven and earth, and he could completely reform his immortal body. If he continued to waste his energy like this, he would have waited for so many years in vain. However, he was very unwilling to retreat just like that. He roared, "Take 3 of my moves." Qi Yu threw away the axes and let them deal with the immortal weapons. He put his palms together and waved them at Yang Wu angrily. It was as if he was worshipping Buddha, but in fact, he was worshipping the heavens. It was called the worshipping style. This was an ancient worshipping ceremony. It was a ceremony to pray for the gods and immortal spirits to make the world have good weather. Qi Yu was already an immortal venerable. How could Yang Wu withstand this move of his? Even the Jade Emperor of the immortal court would have to think twice. In an instant, a ray of immortal power fell down like a blade, splitting heaven and earth into two. Nothing could stop it. Yang Wu instantly felt a sense of crisis. Even in his previous life, it was rare for him to encounter an opponent of this level. Furthermore, there was such a strange move. It seemed simple, but it contained a will that was difficult to defy. It made him unable to dodge, and could only take it head-on. Who's afraid of who? Yang Wu was also incomparably brave. He roared and raised one of his palms. Endless immortal light surged and directly slapped at this move. A black tortoise appeared, as if it had come alive. It roared non-stop and clashed fiercely with the black tortoise. This was the black tortoise immortal palm. The power of immortal Tao seemed to be able to create things. That was why the black tortoise seemed to be alive. Bang! When the two moves collided, the black tortoise was directly cut into 2 halves. The blade move paused a lot, but it was still hanging down. Yang Wu punched again from a distance and shattered this move. He had to use 2 moves to block this move of his opponent. It was obvious how strong his opponent's attack was, and after he landed this move, Qi Yu had already launched a new move. Beast summoning move. He seemed to be chanting some ancient words. All of a sudden, tens of thousands of savage beasts appeared behind him and rushed towards Yang Wu. Every one of them was incomparably huge and filled with demonic qi. Sword, come! Yang Wu roared. The immortal slaying sword appeared in his hand like lightning. With the sword in hand, he had the world. Thousands of sword qi pierced out. Demon slaying move. This was dream back to the peak. 1 move to kill a demon, 1 move to kill a demon. No one could escape from this boundless sword qi. Pu Piu. Many demons were cut into pieces. It was unknown how long it lasted before it completely stopped. Yang Wu, on the other hand, was sent flying while vomiting blood. His sword also broke through Chiyo's defense and left a few sword wounds on his opponent's body. "Take this, the last move," Chiyu roared. He was like a demon god, punching down with both fists. Barbaric Fist Firmament. Chapter 1851. The barbarian race used the barbarian fist to conquer the world. Chiyu was the ancestor of the barbarian race. His barbarian fist had reached the pinnacle. When he punched out, there was no other power other than endless brute force. This special space was greatly affected. This was an ancient war god. The weak Nvois shouted, "Yang Wu, be careful!" She wanted to help Yang Wu, but her surging power was rejected by Yang Wu. Yang Wu summoned another immortal weapon. It was the three-tipped immortal spear from his previous life. He transformed into the strongest war immortal. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula surged. 9 types of profound essence chi erupted, condensing into an incomparably primitive profound yellow chi. The long spear fiercely pierced forward. In an instant, the heaven and earth lost their color. This seemingly simple spear attack contained the power of heaven and earth as one. There was nothing else other than the spear. The spear's momentum was like a dragon. It fiercely collided with the domineering fist energy. The spear and the fist heavily shook. Rumble! Rumble! The two waves of power continued to collide. It was as if the space was going to explode. At the same time, a huge disaster was happening in the 81 worlds of the human realm. Countless living beings died because of this disaster. Cries of agony could be heard everywhere. Even the immortal realm experts couldn't stop the disaster from happening. Moreover, they felt a great pressure descending. It made them tremble in fear. They faintly felt that the human realm would be destroyed. No matter how worried they were, it wasn't something they could stop. The disaster didn't disperse for a long time. All living beings were living in fear. In the battlefield, Yang Wu was sent flying. Immortal blood spurted out. His aura rapidly fell back to the immortal realm. It could be seen that his all-out attack just now had exhausted the power that Nvois transmitted to him. Chiyu didn't retreat half a step. He was like an invincible war god, majestic and awe-inspiring. However, his immortal spirit body had become much more illusory. The power of rebirth that he had painstakingly accumulated was once again consumed. Forget it. If I can't even deal with a brat like you, how can I still have the face to stay in this world? What's more, you and my barbarian tribe are fated. I hope you can leave a place for my barbarian tribe to live. From now on, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Chiyu sighed, and his immortal spiritual power instantly collapsed and dissipated in this world. The female snail took the opportunity to absorb this power, once again recovering some of her original appearance. Yang Wu stared blankly at this scene. He didn't know why Chiyu gave up on the chance of rebirth. Just now, he clearly felt that Chiyu was really strong. It wouldn't be difficult for him to revive. Nvois seemed to know what he was thinking. She said, "He only wanted to replace me. He knew that he couldn't do it, so he didn't force it. Anyway, this obsession can't leave the human realm. Otherwise, he would collapse without a doubt. It's better for him to return to the heaven and earth. He can redeem some of his sins and leave a chance for the barbarian race to reproduce. So he's already dead. But an immortal spirit is already so terrifying. It's enough to see how terrifying he was when he was alive." Yang Wu sighed softly. We don't have time to pity the people here. Accept my power and let the human realm return to its original state. You want me to become the new realm spirit. Are you not willing? I'm not willing, Yang Wu said with certainty. Why? Don't you know that they want to steal my power so that they can reach the heavens in a single step? Nvois was very confused. It's because I know that I feel that there's even less need to have your power, Yang Wu replied. Then he said, Even if I have your power, I can't repair the human realm. I will also become their target. In the end, I'll end up like you. Nvois thought for a moment and said, It's actually different. If you accept my power, I can use my broken body to repair the heavens. The human realm will return to its original state and the great Tao will be complete. What? Yang Wu was instantly shocked. The human realm spirit is related to the human realm. In the past, they wanted to refine all of my power. Without any other choice, I could only fight with my life on the line and drive them away. I even heavily injured them and killed them. This also caused the human realm to split into 81 parts. Although I've been accumulating power for many years, its recovery is extremely slow. The only thing I can do now is to use my body to repair the heavens. Otherwise, the human realm will never return to its original state. Moreover, with the weakening of my power this time, there will be more realms collapsing. When that happens, it will cause a chain reaction and the human realm will be completely destroyed. So you must accept my power. You won't be bound by the human realm. On the contrary, you will receive its feedback and become the supreme immortal spirit of the human realm. No matter where you are, the human realm's power will be at your disposal and you can defeat strong enemies. Nvois opened her heart and said. Yang Wu fell into deep thought. After a while, he said, Why does Empress Nvois insist on doing this? Actually, after I return to the immortal realm, my power can also increase rapidly. I can also protect the human realm for you. You don't have to do this. No, it's too late. Most of the origin energy here has already been intercepted by them. They will refine that energy and increase their power further. Moreover, they won't have to worry about being rejected by the realms anymore. They will soon come to collect the last of my power. You must accept it, otherwise the human realm will be destroyed. Nvois said anxiously. She paused for a moment and said, All the living things in the human realm are my children. Can you watch as your children perish in front of you? Since I was the one who gave birth to them, I have the obligation to protect them with my last bit of heart. This was the great heart of a mother's love. Yang Wu was already a father. For example, when the peerless geniuses met with misfortune, he thought that he would rather be the one to die instead of them. Okay, if that's the case, then I won't delay it. Yang Wu made a prompt decision. Alright, then get ready. I'll transmit power to you, and you'll be in charge of protecting the human world from now on, Nvuo said, and the Mother Chi of the world surged, shrouding Yang Wu once again. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula was activated crazily. The energy flowed into his meridians in perfect harmony and rapidly increased his cultivation level. At this moment, Yang Wu finally understood why Nvuo chose him. It was because he had to cultivate the Supreme Nine Mysteries formula to be able to resonate with Nvuo's energy. Only then could he accept this energy and not be killed by it. If it was someone else, even if they could come here and absorb some energy, they would not be able to accept Nvuo's inheritance. Yang Wu only felt boundless power entering his dantian and strengthening his celestial elixir. Moreover, the process of the human realm growing from nothing flashed past his mind from time to time. It was like the reappearance of ancient history, allowing him to understand the meaning of life. In the void immortal palace of the immortal world, immortal Qi was steaming here. Thousands of miles of land lingered like dragons and phoenixes. The scene was picturesque. Since Zhenwu came here, the reputation of the void immortal palace had plummeted. Many experts of the void immortal palace were angry, but there was nothing they could do. Zhenwu had entered the immortal venerable realm and his aura engulfed thousands of miles. Other than the void immortal venerable who could fight with him, who would dare to provoke him? Not long ago, the first guardian of the void immortal venerable, the multi-handed immortal emperor, led an army to fight with Zhenwu. After a few rounds, Zhenwu defeated him completely. The void immortal venerable was not popular in the immortal world and few people came to help him. Jinwu did not violate the rules of the Immortal Court, so the Immortal Court could not send people to deal with him. They could only let him continue. One day, the Void Immortal Venerable came out of seclusion. Jinwu, I let you go before. Now you don't know what's good for you and still dare to provoke me. Don't blame me for being merciless and erasing your immortal venerable realm. The Void Immortal Venerable stepped out of a black hole. His black hair fluttered in the wind and his eyes shone with black light. His slightly plump body was covered with immortal armor. Boundless dark immortal light flickered. He looked peerless. He was not a human being, but a void worm. After he obtained good fortune and cultivated into a spirit, he was ranked among the immortals. Later on, he had many immortal opportunities and reached his current strength. This time, he came out of seclusion because he had a countermeasure. He had just nourished himself and his strength had improved greatly. Even if Jinwu had entered the immortal venerable realm, he would not be his opponent. It should be known that there were differences in strength among immortal venerables. Jinwu's eyes were like lightning and his aura was like a dragon. His stalwart figure stood up. Without saying a word, he blasted out a destructive fist light from a distance and greeted the Void Immortal Venerable. Immortal Chi rolled out from the fist, controlling the heaven and earth. The immortal light was so oppressive that even the heaven and earth were shaken. The immortal world was different from other worlds. The immortal Chi here was incomparably dense, but the gravity here was also much stronger than any other world. Even if there was a battle between immortals, it would not be able to destroy the immortal world. Therefore, a battle at their level could be fought with all their might. No matter how big the commotion was, it did not matter at all. The Void Immortal Venerable opened his mouth and spat out a ray of black immortal light, suppressing the fist light. The black immortal light contained strong corrosiveness, corroding Jinwu's fist energy. Jinwu took a step forward as if he had crossed thousands of miles. A boundless aura surged as he roared, "Stinky worm, you destroyed my force and killed my companion. Today you and I will fight to the death." His chi contained immortal might, and his fist was like a shocking dragon. Jinwu was indeed an invincible expert. His battle made the heaven and earth lose their color, alarming many powerful figures in the immortal world. Many immortal venerables and immortal emperors looked over from a distance, watching this shocking battle. These immortal beings had immortal bodies, and were indifferent to the 7 emotions and 6 desires. They would never rashly start a battle to the death. The enmity between Jinwu and Void had been going on for a long time. Now it was time to see who was stronger. Everyone felt that Jinwu's aura was like the sky, and they all thought that he might be the winner. Jinwu is indeed a genius. After taking the step of Immortal Venerable, he has such an invincible aura. He can be ranked as an invincible Immortal Venerable. Jinwu Immortal Venerable's battle has alarmed the 3 worlds. The Jade Emperor will definitely watch the battle. He should feel proud. Void has the ability to escape into the void. He can go anywhere in the world. It won't be easy for Jinwu to kill him. If Erlang Immortal Lord is here, I wonder if he or Jinwu is stronger. What a pity. Chapter 1852. The battle between Jinwu and the Void Immortal Venerable was indeed the focus of everyone's attention. Both of them were immortal venerables. In the immortal world, immortal venerables were the most powerful existences. It was extremely difficult for countless immortal-level creatures to reach this level. Once they reached this level, they would become a giant immortal spirit. One of Jinwu's fists was like a dragon, while the other was like a black tortoise. The 2 immortal beasts, one on the left and one on the right, were vivid and lifelike. They pushed the Void Immortal Venerable away. The Void Immortal Venerable's Tao of the Void was ethereal and difficult to defend against. A black hole appeared, twisting the true dragon into pieces. Another force surged, binding the black tortoise, making it difficult for it to move. They were not only using various immortal level techniques, but also their immortal realm strength. Zhen Wu's fists were torrential, looking insufferably arrogant. However, the Void Immortal Venerable had entered the Immortal Venerable realm much earlier than Zhen Wu. He had used all kinds of techniques, making it difficult for Zhen Wu to defend himself. Suddenly, endless palms came from all directions, forcing Zhen Wu to defend himself. "Zhen Wu, you're still too young," the Void Immortal Venerable shouted. Zhen Wu still didn't speak. The immortal armor on his body was so thick that the Void Immortal Venerable's palm force couldn't hurt him at all. His power kept compressing, and when it reached a certain limit, immortal qi surged out. He looked up to the sky and roared, "Space lock." In an instant, the boundless immortal qi condensed as if it was completely frozen. The Void Immortal Venerable's palm also seemed to be locked and couldn't move anymore. An inexplicable aura was released, and a domineering attack exploded with him as the center. The fist shattered the void. This was the ultimate punch that Zhen Wu had comprehended over the years to kill the Void Immortal Venerable. It was his peak strength, and he didn't hold back at all. He only wanted to shatter the endless void. "Stinky Bug, you and I have no grudges, but you've done some heartless things. You can become an immortal, but you still don't know your humanity. Today I, Zhen Wu, will kill you here," Zhen Wu shouted with strong confidence. Bang! Bang! The space of the world of immortals continued to crumble as immortal qi swept out in all directions, threatening to destroy all of the palaces in the vicinity. The peerlessly domineering attack caused the spectators in the distance to be dumbfounded. They were all used to big scenes, but in the face of Zhen Wu's powerful attack, they still felt suffocated and found it difficult to resist. The Void Immortal Venerable also felt a strong threat. An insect shadow appeared behind him. He wanted to retreat from the void, but he found that countless voids had been completely sealed. It was not impossible to break out, but it would take some time, and this time was enough for Zhen Wu to kill him. "Zhen Wu, if you want to risk your life, I'll fulfill your wish." Void Immortal Venerable couldn't escape. The void bell appeared in front of him. Boundless power slammed on the void bell. Bursts of bell sounds collided with Zhen Wu's fist. Dong dong! A series of bell sounds rang out. Immortal qi rolled out. The nearby immortal realm creatures all retreated further away. Many immortal palaces were shattered and collapsed. The Zhen Wu fist landed on the Bell of Void. Yi Futian thought that this punch would be able to shatter the Bell of Void, but he felt an even more shocking power from the Bell of Void that stopped his punch. His eyes twitched. A shadow rushed out from the Bell of Void. His palms carried the power to topple mountains and overturn seas as they slammed toward him. Puff! It turned out that the shadow that came out of the Void Bell was another Void Immortal Venerable. This was his real body. The true martial immortal coughed up blood, and his eyes were filled with shock. He couldn't understand why the Void Immortal Venerable had refined his true body into the Void Bell. The clone outside was only his avatar. This move, secretly crossing Chernsong, was really hard to guard against. "I said you're too tender. I'll keep you here and then send you to see Erlang Immortal Venerable," the Void Immortal Venerable said faintly. His real body and clone joined hands to suppress Zhen Wu. Their strength was many times stronger than before. Zhen Wu's momentum was gone. He knew that it was very difficult to deal with the Void Immortal Venerable. He directly broke out of the encirclement and didn't dare to continue fighting. Zhen Wu was defeated again in this battle. The name of the Void Immortal Venerable once again shook the immortal realm. After the Void Immortal Venerable took a short rest, he went into seclusion again. In fact, he had another clone. He went to an immortal mansion in front to see a immortal venerable named Mo Long. This was a reclusive powerhouse. He had always been a loner. Even though he was already a celestial venerable, his reputation wasn't very prominent. Many years ago, he had an alchemy competition with Shenong Immortal Venerable and Taishang Immortal Venerable. In the end, he lost and went into seclusion. Who would have thought that he was the immortal realm creature behind the Medicine Emperor? Taoist Mo Long, can you come out and meet me? The void immortal venerable called out faintly as he came to the immortal mansion. Not long after, a burly figure appeared out of thin air. His whole body was shrouded in demonic immortal chi. A pair of dragon eyes emitted immortal light, making it difficult to look directly at. He asked, "You've digested your power so quickly?" It seems that Brother Mo Long has admitted to that matter, but there's still a step to be completed. If we don't go over immediately, I'm afraid that true Lord Erlang will benefit from it, the Void Immortal Venerable said. Yes, but have you thought about the fact that this is the only chance to reach the supreme great path in the human realm? Unless we just want to increase our strength, we'll still have to fight to the death in the end, Taoist Mo Long replied. That's a matter for the future. Now we have to stop true Lord Erlang first. Otherwise we won't have any chance and will suffer from his crazy revenge, the Void Immortal Venerable said. After a pause, he said, "To be honest, I just fought with Zhen Wu. He's a good brother of true Lord Erlang. If they join forces, we won't be able to win in the future. It's better to get rid of them while they're still young." I have the same idea, Taoist Mo Long said with killing intent. Taoist Mo Long said with a hint of killing intent in his eyes. Then, he continued, "Now we can all come to the human realm in person, and we will no longer be suppressed by the great Tao. We will set off immediately, and I have a way to make true Lord Erlang willingly give up everything he has obtained." "Okay, let's go," the Void Immortal Venerable replied. The two immortal venerable celestial bodies turned into streams of light and left the immortal realm. The two immortal venerables were extremely fast. Even though they were separated by countless voids, it didn't take them too long to reach the human realm. The immortal court had immortal rules. Immortal-level creatures couldn't harm creatures from the lower realm for no reason. Even if they arrived at the human realm, they couldn't destroy the human realm. Otherwise, the experts who became immortals from the human realm would gang up on them, and they wouldn't be able to resist. This time, they were going for Nvoi's world spirit power. They wouldn't destroy the human realm. At this moment, Yang Wu was accepting the power of the world spirit. He went from the immortal realm to the immortal king realm, and then from the immortal king realm to the immortal emperor realm. This time, it was different from the last time. With the experience of his previous life, there weren't any barriers to breaking through in this life. Moreover, the Supreme Nine Mysteries formula was a formula specially created to absorb the power of the world spirit. It was naturally much easier for him to accept this power. His figure was faintly discernible. The source chi of heaven and earth floated around him. He sensed every blade of grass and flower of the human realm. The evolution process from birth to death and then to rebirth allowed him to understand the truth of the Tao of life and death. It was a kind of Tao of creation. The world originally didn't have a spirit, but it had a spirit because of evolution. With a spirit, one would live, and without a spirit, one would die. The cycle repeated endlessly. Immortal light emitted from his body. The source chi of heaven and earth opened and closed. His chest contained the universe. He was like a fairy that was born by the heavens. He became incomparably ethereal. Little Hay clicked her tongue and said, "Master is going to ascend to the supreme throne in this life." In his previous life, true Lord Erlang was already unrivaled in the immortal world. He was titled as the #1 war immortal of the immortal court. How could that be an undeserved reputation? And in this life, after obtaining the power of the world spirit of the human realm, there would definitely be more extraordinary aspects. It was all because when Yang Wu obtained the inheritance of these powers, he also saw all kinds of cultivation in the human realm in the past, including how the former 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors stepped onto the peak, or how the ancestors of the War Clan carried forward the War Clan. He also saw how the old man riding a bull in Kunlun obtained it in one step and ascended to the immortal world. Many comprehensions were clear in his mind. It was a kind of all-encompassing great Tao that finally gathered into his Tao of invincibility. At this moment, he finally understood why so many immortal-level creatures still wanted to compete for the world spirit of the human realm. Just these comprehensions could save thousands of years of cultivation. As for the void immortal Reverend and Taoist Mo Long, although they suppressed a lot of source chi of heaven and earth to increase their strength, they were definitely not like him, who could feel the evolution of the human realm's history and experience all kinds of mysteries. And when Yang Wu's power became stronger, Nvua's power became weaker. Once he absorbed all of her power, she would no longer exist in this world. Nvua did not mind at all. She only needed to leave a strand of power to mend the heavens, and that would be enough. I can sense that they are rushing towards the human realm, Nvua said to Yang Wu. Is that insect them? Yang Wu frowned and asked. Yes, they devoured the fortune here, so they are not rejected by the world. As long as they come close, I will sense it immediately. Nvua replied, then said, It seems that they don't want you to finish digesting my power, so they are rushing over. Let them come, I'm not afraid of them now. Yang Wu said confidently. No, your realm is still quite far from theirs. I will continue to help you, so you have to speed up your absorption. Don't let everything I've done go to waste. Nvua said with certainty. Yang Wu said without hesitation, Don't worry, I will protect the human realm. When the battle starts, you will mend the heavens, and I will fight them in the sky beyond heaven. Why? Once I mend the heavens, I won't have any power to support you. Because after you mend the heavens, the human realm's fortune will be reorganized and restored. For me, it will bring endless benefits, and I will be able to win. All right, I'll listen to you. Yes, then I will go stop them. Chapter 1853. Yang Wu had obtained most of Nvua's power and merged it with the will of the human realm. With a thought, he appeared outside the human realm with Little Hay, blocking the path of the void immortal venerable and Taoist Mo Long. Are the two immortal venerables looking for me, Yang Wu? Yang Wu calmly looked at the two figures that were rushing towards him like shooting stars. Yang Wu had already recovered to the realm of his previous life, the immortal emperor realm. Although he had not entered the immortal venerable realm, his combat strength was not inferior to the immortal venerable realm. He was given the title of the number 1 combat immortal. Now, he had cultivated a different immortal body. His combat strength was stronger than his previous life. Facing the two immortal venerables, he did not have the slightest fear. The void immortal venerable's two black hole-like eyes stared at Yang Wu and shouted, You have already absorbed Nvua's power? Since you know, why don't you scram? This will be my territory in the future. Whoever has any ideas about it will be my enemy, Yang Wu replied in a domineering manner. We are not afraid of Nvua, the original realm spirit. Why would we be afraid of you, a mere immortal emperor realm brat? Taoist Mo Long sneered. After a pause he continued, Moreover, I am your son's master. I even saved your son's life. Shouldn't you be thanking me? Yang Wu narrowed his eyes and said to Taoist Mo Long, You have been plotting in the human realm for so many years for the realm spirit's power. Now that you have each taken a part of the power, you should be satisfied. Do you still plan to absorb all the power of the human realm and refine it? Don't you know that this action will completely destroy the human realm? What does sacrificing the human realm count for? Moreover, the human realm has already left its seed in the God realm. It is their honor for these low-level creatures to die for us, Taoist Mo Long said coldly. The void immortal venerable said, That's right. After we absorb the power of the world spirits, we can also use great abilities. It won't be a problem for the human realm to exist for another 1 or 2 eras. Why are you so stubborn? It's not that I'm stubborn, it's you all who are stubborn. World spirit power is incomparably scarce to begin with, and I've even been seriously injured before. Right now, all of that power belongs to me. You all should know when to stop and shouldn't launch a large-scale invasion, Yang Wu replied again. Since the power is in your body, then hand it all over. Taoist Mo Long shouted and grabbed at Yang Wu angrily. A dragon claw covered the sky as it swept down. The dragon's might was awe-inspiring. You want to hurt my master? Have you asked for this immortal emperor's permission? Little Hay shouted and rushed out. She waved her dog claw and collided with the dragon claw. Little Hay had also recovered her immortal emperor's strength. Although her attack was extremely powerful, she was still a lot weaker than Taoist Mo Long. Even though her dog claw was crushed, the dragon claw was still heading towards Little Hay. Little Hay's speed was unparalleled. She turned into lightning and circled behind Taoist Mo Long. Then, she spat out a mouthful of true samadhi fire. The true samadhi fire engulfed the area, but it only burned the afterimage of Taoist Mo Long. When he reappeared, he had already landed behind Little Hay. Once again, he clawed at Little Hay, causing her to scream miserably and roll away. Even your master doesn't dare to attack me. How dare you, a howling celestial dog, go against the heavens? Taoist Mo Long was peerless. His strength was incomparably powerful. His chi shrouded the void. The dragon claw that was everywhere continued to attack Little Hay, not giving Little Hay any chance of survival. Yang Wu didn't make a move. No one knew better than him about Little Hay's ability. She wouldn't be taken down so easily. The immortal thunder seal smashed out. Boundless lightning force blasted out, blocking the attack of Taoist Mo Long. Not only that, she also spat out a huge cauldron. It was the Shenong Immortal Cauldron. Boundless immortal chi was released, growing bigger and bigger until it was as heavy as a mountain. This was Little Hay's true strength. She could unleash the strength of a peak immortal emperor with a flip of her hand. She could even threaten an immortal venerable. Child's play. Taoist Mo Long harumphed coldly and flicked his finger. Two immortal lights shot out like meteors. The immortal force collided with the immortal seal. The immortal seal crumbled in an instant, unable to withstand the power of a single finger of an immortal venerable. The immortal cauldron was sent flying away with a series of ear-piercing noises. This was just Little Hay's tactic to disturb the enemy. With a long howl, she shrunk her body into the shape of a wheel and rushed towards Taoist Mo Long Windfire Wheel. This was her own powerful technique. She used her body as an immortal weapon and turned it into a windfire wheel, releasing boundless true samadhi fire. Streaks of true flame shot towards Taoist Mo Long at an astonishing speed. Even an immortal venerable like Taoist Mo Long narrowed his eyes and had to concentrate to deal with it. He flicked his 10 fingers and shot out streaks of finger light, colliding with the windfire wheel. However, they were all sent flying by the windfire wheel. Taoist Mo Long, I'm afraid you will suffer if you don't take this seriously. This howling celestial dog isn't an ordinary guy. Void Immortal Venerable said. Then, his eyes fell on Yang Wu and said, I've just killed Jin Wu. Now, I'll kill you and clear all the obstacles in my path of obtaining the world's spirit force of the human world. Having said that, he crossed his hands and a black hole shrouded Yang Wu. The terrifying suction force tore the void apart. Yang Wu's figure unconsciously got closer to the black hole. Yang Wu took advantage of the situation. When he got close to the black hole, his strength erupted like a flood. A terrifying seal blasted towards the black hole. In his previous life, he was already able to fight against an immortal venerable when he was in the immortal emperor realm. In this life, he had returned to the immortal emperor realm and forged an invincible immortal body. The power he could unleash was even more terrifying than his previous life. This seal was like a small world. It slammed into the black hole, causing it to be stuck. The suction force couldn't pose too much of a threat. When he punched again, the black hole immediately collapsed. Void Immortal Venerable raised his eyebrows and said, It seems like you've really obtained the majority of the world's spirit's power. I'm going to refine you into a human pill and devour you. In the next moment, 3 black holes appeared at the same time. The suction force became even more terrifying. They were like 3 black suns, releasing boundless power that shrouded different directions, leaving Yang Wu no way to retreat. The power of these 3 black holes was even stronger than the previous one. After releasing the suction force, it could tear anything apart on the spot, even if it was an immortal item. In the distance, some of the floating void rocks were sucked in and instantly turned into powder. Yang Wu felt that his body was about to be torn into 3 pieces by these 3 black holes. It made him feel incomparably uncomfortable. Not only that, but there was also a continuous force that passed through the void and blasted towards him. This was the means of an immortal realm expert. The omnipresent attack was filled with the power to destroy the world. Yang Wu seemed to have transformed into the black tortoise. His powerful force deflected the suction force. A 3-tipped immortal spear appeared in his hand. He became one with the spear. Shadows of the spear were like rivers, crashing madly towards the 3 black holes. Passive defense wasn't his habit. Only by taking the initiative to attack was the best defense. Zhenwu boxing. An invincible domineering aura emerged from his body. His fists were like the reversal of the sun and the moon breaking the sky. The shadows of the fists were filled with explosive force, shattering one of the black holes. The power of the 3-tipped immortal spear fell, smashing another black hole. Yang Wu didn't go to destroy the last black hole. Instead, he directly rushed over with his spear. Both man and spear directly pierced into the black hole. It made people feel that he was seeking his own death. Once he entered the black hole, wouldn't it be a dead end? However, something strange happened. The black hole rapidly shrank, turning into a void bell, and fiercely clashed with Yang Wu's 3-tipped immortal spear. Asterisk clang. Asterisk a burst of sparks erupted. Yang Wu's figure was sent flying backwards. His ears were buzzing from the impact. The void immortal venerable followed him like a shadow. The void bell fell from the sky, smashing down, wanting to take down Yang Wu in one fell swoop. Kill! The void immortal venerable's strength had improved. Even Zhen Wu, who was at the same level as him, was no match for him. How could Yang Wu, who had yet to enter the immortal venerable realm, be his opponent? Yang Wu's reaction was extremely fast. He smashed out the thunder hammer and the electric fork. The 2 immortal weapons attacked at the same time. Boundless chaotic immortal thunder bombarded unceasingly. The void immortal venerable felt his scalp go numb. He cursed inwardly. This guy is indeed more difficult to deal with than Zhen Wu. In the next moment, an immortal rope that had merged with the void swept out, binding Yang Wu. Void immortal rope. It was as ethereal as a snake. It broke through the void and arrived beside Yang Wu in the blink of an eye. Yang Wu waved his 3-tipped immortal spear, but he couldn't hit it. Even if he changed his figure to escape, it could still catch up with him. As long as he was bound by it, he wouldn't be able to escape. The nether ice-winged blade slashed out, blocking the void immortal rope, preventing it from binding his body. The void immortal venerable snorted coldly and said, "Let's see how long you can struggle." In the next moment, he slapped down from the sky. 2 void palms erupted with an unstoppable attack, enveloping Yang Wu. His cultivation level was higher than Yang Wu. As long as he forced Yang Wu to clash with his strength, he would be able to exhaust Yang Wu to death sooner or later. Yang Wu had no choice. He blasted out the immortal Emperor Seal, clashing head-on with the void immortal venerable. The immortal Emperor Seal was destroyed. A palm shadow swept across, shattering a large area of space. Some nameless stars in the distance were directly destroyed. The void immortal venerable didn't think that Yang Wu would be destroyed just like that. He seemed to have turned into an immortal spirit of this world. A large area of space was covered by his immortal sense. When Yang Wu appeared from the void, he immediately sensed it. The 2 of them once again engaged in a fierce battle. A battle of this level wouldn't end in a short time. In the human realm, Nvois had already sensed the attack of a strong enemy. When Yang Wu appeared, she began to mend the sky. Now, the human realm no longer needs my protection. He is the new guardian of the human realm. He will definitely be able to defeat the evil. Nvois said faintly. Her infinitely long snake body began to bind the 81 worlds together. She used her power to seep into the 81 worlds and fuse them together. Chapter 1854. The mortal world had been broken for tens of thousands of years. All of a sudden, it was enveloped by the chi of heaven and earth. The levels of the mortal world were exploding. Everywhere, the forbidden lands and treasured lands were emitting an immeasurable amount of light. Many saint flowers and divine herbs were emerging. The power of the great Tao became clearer and clearer. Many living beings were comprehending the great Tao, and their realms were rising rapidly. What is happening in my celestial world? Why is there such a phenomenon? There is also a large amount of chi of heaven and earth surging out. Something big must have happened. A true dragon, white tiger, vermilion bird, and black tortoise have appeared at the same time. What is going on? Is this a phenomenon of great prosperity? The heavens and earth are moving. The great Tao is obvious. My realm has broken through just like that. Am I the child of destiny? There is a great tribulation in the heavens and earth. If we pass it, the mortal world will return to its original state. If we fail to pass it, all of us will die. Let us pray together that the mortal world will pass the tribulation of this era. The sun and moon have appeared at the same time. What a strange phenomenon. The heavens and earth seem to be recovering. Will there be great fortune after a great calamity? The experts from various earths were constantly calculating all the changes. They were not sure if it was a sign of great prosperity or a sign of great calamity. All the living beings were feeling uneasy. However, this was not something that any of them could change. They could only wait quietly for the final result to arrive. Nvois' power continued to disappear. The 81 Earths began to merge together. The barriers between the Earths completely disappeared. Those Earths that were close to each other were completely shocked. The Earths collided, and a natural disaster accompanied it. Many living beings died because of this. All of this was because Nvois' strength was not as strong as before. Now, she was sacrificing herself to forcefully merge the Earths. Even so, she was unable to protect the lives of those living beings. Children, after experiencing nirvana, you will live a better life, Nvois said faintly. Her voice reached the minds of every living being, making them feel as if they were in a dream. They could feel the care and concern of a mother. The God-level powerhouses of the various worlds began to move. They took the initiative to rescue the weak creatures trapped by the disaster. It was time for them to display the demeanor of a powerhouse. Usually, they couldn't be bothered with the life and death of the weak. Even if they died, they felt that they deserved it and didn't deserve any sympathy. However, Nvois' voice had stirred up their primitive compassion and made them understand how great, boundless love was. This was also a rare opportunity to show the kind side of the human race. After saving these weak creatures, they realized that helping the weak was much more enjoyable than killing them. Sensing this scene, Nvois felt that everything she had sacrificed was worth it. Her serpentine body kept on fading and fading. Most of her body merged into the human world and became one with the human world. She also inserted the Chaos Sky-Mending Stone into the joints of each of the 81 realms, completely stabilizing their realms. She used the last bit of her power to create a battle in the infinite space outside the human world. She said, "Let me show you who is saving the human world and saving your lives. In the future, he will be the only immortal in the human world." Suddenly, the battle in the outer space appeared in front of all the living beings in the human world, shocking them. What's going on in the realm beyond heaven? Could it be that this battle has affected the changes in our realm? Is that voice the immortal of our human world? Where is she? The battle in the realm beyond heaven can't be real, right? I must be hallucinating. What kind of power are those two forces colliding? Could it be the legendary battle of immortals? That figure can't be Yang Wu, right? He's fighting for us? Those two fellows are so scary. Are they preparing to attack our human world? The living beings in the human world were watching this battle and were filled with deep shock. At the same time, they couldn't see if this scene was real, but the power of the collision was deeply engraved in their hearts. There was also that tall and straight figure protecting the human world behind him, preventing the two more powerful beings from attacking. No matter how stupid they were, they could tell who was the good guy and who was the bad guy from the scene transmitted by Envoy. At this moment, Yang Wu became more and more courageous as the battle went on. His combat strength had already surpassed his previous life and could easily kill an ordinary immortal. However, the strength of the Void Immortal Venerable was beyond Yang Wu's imagination. After he obtained a portion of the Qi of heaven and earth, his realm had reached a new level. The void techniques he used were madly suppressing Yang Wu, forcing him to retreat. If this continued, Yang Wu would definitely lose. On the other hand, Little He was dealt with by Taoist Mo Long. No matter how strong it was, it couldn't compete with Taoist Mo Long. Its body was covered with wounds. If it wasn't for its tough life, it would have been completely wiped out. Stop struggling. You can't protect the human world, the Void Immortal Venerable said faintly. The Void Immortal Venerable said faintly. His voice drifted into the ears of the living beings in the mortal world. They all heard it clearly. Don't waste any more time. Let's kill them quickly and seize the Boundary Spirit. I feel that the Boundary Spirit's power is about to disappear. Taoist Mo Long sent Little He flying with a palm strike and went to deal with Yang Wu together with the Void Immortal Venerable. Yang Wu forced the Void Immortal Venerable back with a single move and retreated to a distance. He summoned Little He back to his side and touched Little He's bloody body. He smiled and said, "Don't try to be brave. Stay behind and support Master. I'll kill them together." "Master, they're very powerful. Are you sure you can kill them together? Why don't I drag one of them down with me first?" Little He said with a strong sense of viciousness in its eyes. Yang Wu laughed and said, "Don't worry. They may seem very powerful, but this place is closer to our territory. They will definitely lose. You should retreat first. We already have luck and will not be rejected by the human world. If you have any other tricks, just use them. Otherwise, you won't be able to survive," the Void Immortal Venerable said. "Let's attack at the same time and give him a quick death." "Don't delay any longer," Taoist Mo Long said. "Let's see what tricks he has first. No matter what Envoy does, the Boundary Spirit's power won't disappear. At most, we can refine the human world and make it our private property." "It's the same," the Void Immortal Venerable said with a faint smile. "You won't have such a chance," Yang Wu said faintly. He held the three-tipped immortal spear in one hand and the immortal beheading sword in the other. A set of armor formed on his body. His battle chi was incomparably powerful. The power of the human world kept surging towards him. This was the powerful support given to him after the completion of the human world. Just as he was about to attack, a voice sounded from afar, "Yang Jian, your brother is here to help you." A figure broke through the sky and rushed over. It was Zhen Wu. He was holding a head in his hand. It was Koan Mingzi's head. Koan Mingzi didn't die. He had become an immortal. How could he die so easily? However, he was panicking in his heart. It wasn't easy for him to become an immortal again. When he returned to the immortal world, he bumped into Zhen Wu. Zhen Wu casually grabbed his head, and there was no room for him to resist. "Good brother, you and I can fight side by side again." Yang Zhan felt refreshed after seeing Zhen Wu. With Zhen Wu's help, he didn't need to fear the Void Immortal Venerable and Taoist Mo Long. Sure enough, something has changed. Taoist Mo Long sighed softly. He paused for a moment and said, "But no one can change this fact. You guys can come out." Taoist Mo Long waved his arm, and several immortal-level creatures appeared. The Void Immortal Venerable also laughed. "Do you really think we're the only ones here? We've been guarding against you, Zhenwu." As his voice fell, a black hole appeared and a team walked out from it. These were all immortal Emperor-level creatures. They were enough to deal with Zhenwu if they joined forces. "You guys really came prepared. This time I really have to go all out. Black Tortoise, wake up now. What are you waiting for?" Zhenwu roared in the direction of the mortal world. In the 5 islands outside the transcendent realm, the 5 island countries shook. An incomparably huge creature emerged from the ocean. It was a huge black tortoise. The 5 islands were on its body. With a slight shake, the 5 islands fell to another location. It shook its sleepy eyes and said faintly, "Master, I'm here." In the next moment, its huge body flew up and quickly appeared outside the mortal world, arriving at the heavens beyond heaven battlefield. Black Tortoise was Zhen Wu's mount. It was once an immortal emperor-level existence. Many years had passed, no one knew if its strength had improved. "Kill them all." Taoist Mo Long ordered the immortal-level creatures he brought from the universe. "Yes, immortal venerable." Those immortals responded and attacked Zhenwu. The Void Immortal Venerable also said to his subordinates, "Kill him." The subordinates of the Void Immortal Venerable besieged Yang Wu. These creatures were celestial soldiers and celestial generals. Each of them held a different immortal weapon and released an incomparably powerful immortal chi. They combined into a formation and attacked Yang Wu, not giving Yang Wu any space to break through. Yang Wu's mind was blank. Scenes of the mortal world kept flashing in his mind. A completely different immortal Tao flashed across his mind. He said faintly, "Let me fight for the mortal world." Then, a spear pierced out, carrying an immeasurable amount of immortal light. Like a meteor, it crashed into the formation of the immortal emperors. The immortal beheading sword drew an immortal Tao. A vast expanse of sword chi was so shocking that it cut through the formation of the immortal emperors. 2 or 3 immortal emperors' immortal bodies were broken on the spot. They couldn't resist at all. Yang Wu's immortal Tao power became even stronger. However, when he and Zhen Wu were stalled, the Void Immortal Venerable and Taoist Mo Long rushed towards the mortal world at the same time. "Don't even think about getting close." Nvois used her remaining strength to stop them from moving forward, not letting them get close. "It's useless. Don't struggle." The Void Immortal Venerable said faintly. "Refine the mortal world." Taoist Mo Long said. The 2 immortal venerables attacked the mortal world at the same time. Chapter 1855. The strength of the 2 immortal venerables was extremely powerful. When their power shrouded the mortal world, the 81 worlds that had been fused with great difficulty immediately felt like it was collapsing. Many of the living beings felt a terrifying pressure. Some of the weaker living beings spurted out blood and died directly from the pressure. Many mountains and rivers were collapsing unceasingly. Natural disasters were happening again. Who are these 2 bastards? They are going to destroy our mortal world. Who can save us? I don't want to die like this. Instead of dying in such a cowardly manner, why don't we rush over and fight them? Oh God, I'm willing to contribute my strength. I only hope that you can save us. Let's pray together and contribute all our strength. I hope that the Guardian will be stronger and help us eliminate the strong enemies. Their prayers fell into the ears of Nua. She could sense it clearly. Suddenly, an idea came to her mind. She transmitted her voice to Yang Wu, "Prepare to accept the strength of the mortal world. It will help you reach the sky in a single bound." Yang Wu was in high spirits. His spear and sword were crazily attacking in all directions. His doppelgangers were also attacking the enemies together with the lightning hammer and the electric fork. However, it was impossible for him to deal with these immortal emperors in a short period of time. He had to put in a lot of effort to get rid of them. If this continued, the mortal world would be finished. When he heard Nuwa's voice, he could sense the prayers of countless living beings in the mortal world. Bit by bit, their strength was gathering towards him, strengthening his realm. He could clearly feel their longing to live, their longing for him to protect the mortal world and their home. At this moment, his mind was filled with the memories of the past in the transcendent world, the joys and sorrows with his family and friends. He saw the 5 heroes of the proud sword frantically cheering for him, "Go Master! Go Master!" He saw the clansmen of Yang family shouting, "Master is invincible! Master is invincible!" While he was in a daze, several immortal weapons were launched towards him. The overbearing force almost shattered his body. "True Lord Erlang, is this all you've got?" A ferocious-looking immortal emperor roared and smashed his twin hammers at Yang Wu's head. Another one wielded a long sword and turned into a ray of light, stabbing towards Yang Wu's back with great destructive power. "Isn't it easy for you to see my strength?" Yang Wu said and opened his third eye. Boundless immortal Tao power gathered in his eyes and landed on the immortal emperor with the twin hammers. In an instant, it pierced through the immortal emperor's divine court immortal soul. The immortal emperor cried out softly and retreated frantically. At the same time, the immortal slaying sword slashed back at an incomparably fast speed. Before the sneak attacker could react, a large head was chopped off. "I won't lose!" Yang Wu shouted and circulated the Supreme Nine Mysteries formula, crazily absorbing the power of countless living beings in the mortal world. His strength rose steadily. The 3-tipped immortal spear pierced out again, instantly breaking the formation of these immortal emperors. The thunder hammer and the electric fork combined to form a terrifying chaotic immortal thunder domain, completely submerging these immortal emperors. Hong long. The incomparably terrifying immortal thunder continued to explode, bombarding these immortal emperors until they were battered and exhausted. It was very difficult for them to resist. At this moment, Yang Wu only felt that his combat strength had reached an unprecedented state. He faintly grasped the feeling of being one with the mortal world. He ignored these immortal emperors and flew towards Void Immortal Venerable and Taoist Mo Long, roaring, "Your doomsday has arrived." With a slash of the immortal slaying sword, an incomparably dazzling sword shadow broke through the layers of the void and arrived in front of Void Immortal Venerable and Taoist Mo Long. Its power was stronger than before, rising straight to the level of Immortal Venerable. Not only that, he also felt that there were countless forces supporting him from behind. Every move seemed to carry the power of countless living beings in the mortal world to suppress Void Immortal Venerable and Taoist Mo Long. The 2 Immortal Venerables felt the pressure brought to them by Yang Wu, and their faces were filled with disbelief. Although Yang Wu was strong before, he was absolutely not a threat to them. But now, he could threaten them. "Void Immortal Venerable, you hold him back first. I have a way to deal with him," Taoist Mo Long said. Void Immortal Venerable struck out a palm, blocking Yang Wu's attack and asked, "Don't tell me you want to take it all for yourself?" "I also need to have the ability to do so," Taoist Mo Long replied. After a pause he added, "You just need to hold on for a while." "Alright." Void Immortal Venerable responded and faced Yang Wu head-on. However, when he got close to Yang Wu, he instantly felt uncomfortable. He only felt that there were countless living beings behind Yang Wu standing together with Yang Wu. It was as if there were countless living beings attacking him. Those united forces were incomparably condensed, and the power was actually able to threaten him. It made him irritated, and he lifted the void bell to suppress Yang Wu. "This time, I will not show any mercy. I will suppress you." Void Immortal Venerable was finally serious. He unleashed his full strength, and black holes appeared one after another, crushing towards Yang Wu. 9 black holes appeared in the sky, and the boundless tearing force was incomparably terrifying. It seemed as if heaven and earth would be torn apart. This was the most overbearing Immortal Venerable's immortal Tao power. Yang Wu's combat strength was surging. He looked up to the sky and roared, "I will let you see the power of the number 1 immortal warrior." 9 immortal slaying swords. One sword after another slashed towards the left and right. There was no power that could stop this overbearing attack. It attacked the 9 black holes separately. The 3-pointed immortal spear combined with the power of his soul eye and stabbed towards the void Immortal Venerable's forehead. Immortal slaying spike. This was Yang Wu's strongest attack. There were countless forces combined with him, and the power was extremely powerful. It broke through layers of power and reached the void Immortal Venerable's forehead in the blink of an eye. It scared him out of his wits. He sensed that Yang Wu's attack would definitely severely injure his immortal soul. Once his immortal soul was injured, it would not be easy for him to recover. He escaped through the void, but the spear was everywhere and continued to stab towards him. "Get out of my way!" The celestial venerable of void swung the void bell, and the sound of the bell reverberated, but he still couldn't send the celestial spear flying. He was forced to revert to his original form, which was the appearance of an ugly insect. He spat out a mouthful of void immortal power and blocked Yang Wu's attack. "Taoist Demon Dragon, are you still not done yet?" Void Immortal Venerable shouted. Yang Wu had already attacked again. The immortal slaying sword contained his immortal Tao of life and death. It reversed heaven and earth, and even an immortal would be killed. In the past, his slaying sword technique used his spiritual force and the power of the sword technique to kill. Now, it was combined with the wishes of countless living beings. The power of the will was incomparably strong, and the power of the slash could destroy heaven and earth. Even an immortal venerable would find it difficult to resist. The sword slashed out, cutting through the void Immortal Venerable's power of the void, leaving a long bloody mark on his body, almost cutting his insect body in half. However, the void Immortal Venerable was also amazing. He quickly healed the wound. The void claw reached out as if it could freeze heaven and earth. Many sharp claws kept falling, trying to tear Yang Wu apart. Void 8 claws. The void Immortal Venerable was a void insect. His immortal technique naturally could not be separated from the void insect's Tao. The fleeting power could not be captured, but it could not hide in front of Yang Wu's soul eye. The 3-pointed immortal spear stabbed out crazily again, and the immortal slaying sword continued to slash down. The sword light was like an upside-down river. The attack became more and more fierce, and the living beings supporting him also increased. The living beings in the human world kept joining in. Their power was extracted by Nvua and transferred to Yang Wu, making Yang Wu stronger and stronger. "You must win this battle," Nvua prayed. At this time, Taoist Demon Dragon suddenly cast a spell and broke through one of Nvua's positions. Suddenly, a living being was pulled out from the human world. "My good disciple, come to master." Taoist Demon Dragon gave a cold laugh. The one being pulled over was Xie Tian and another woman. She was like an empress, noble and elegant. She was the Alliance Master of the Medicine God Alliance, Chao Jifei. After Xie Tian saw a Taoist Demon Dragon, his face turned gloomy. He could imagine Taoist Demon Dragon's plan and immediately shouted, "I won't let you succeed." Then, he planned to self-destruct to end his life. "My good disciple is really smart, but it's a pity you can't do it," Taoist Demon Dragon said. His power was binding Xie Tian, making it difficult for him to self-destruct. On the other side, Chao Jifei had already seen Yang Wu fighting in the sky beyond heaven. She was worried about him. Seeing him get injured again and again, her heart ached. Now, seeing Yang Wu up close, she was satisfied and went all out. "True Lord Erlang, look who I brought to see you." Taoist Demon Dragon shouted at Yang Wu with 2 people. Yang Wu was fighting with the Void Immortal Senior and had the upper hand. Hearing Taoist demon dragons shout, he was distracted and immediately sensed the situation on the other side. His heart instantly turned cold. Let them go and I can let you leave this place. Yang Wu looked at Taoist demon dragon with a gloomy face and said, Ha ha, your words are really funny. Now I order you to surrender, otherwise I don't mind letting you taste the pain of losing a child. Taoist demon dragon gave a long laugh and then said, There's also this delicate beauty, she should be your confidant. I don't know if her death will affect you. Without waiting for Yang Wu to reply, Chao Jifei loudly said, Yang Wu, don't worry about me. Kill him. My death can be exchanged for thousands of lives, I'm satisfied. When the living beings of the human world heard her words, they were filled with respect for Chao Jifei. Since you want to die this much, I'll let you die. Taoist Mo Long shouted, and a powerful force surged out from her body. In an instant, her plump body was torn into two halves, leaving only her head intact. This method was simply too cruel. You deserve to die 10,000 times. Chapter 1856. Chao Jifei was known as the most beautiful empress. There were countless people who pursued her, but they were all rejected by her mercilessly. Moreover, she had already said that she had a lover. For many years, other than managing the Alchemist Union's affairs, she had been concentrating on cultivating. She had already reached the top of the divine realm. Even if her body was destroyed, her head was still fine and she was not dead. However, Yang Wu's liver and guts were torn apart when he saw this scene. He had always cared for the people around him, but he felt endless guilt towards Chao Jifei. He had already had intimate contact with her, and both of them loved each other. However, she was too stubborn and did not want to go to the divine realm with him. All these years they had been separated. When they finally met again, it was in this kind of situation. He was so angry and uncomfortable. His heart felt like it was being cut by a knife, suffocating him. Immortal chi swept in all directions like a storm, shaking the space and cracking it. Everyone could feel how terrifying his anger was. Yang Wu's soul eye angrily glared at Taoist Mo Long. He wished that he could kill Taoist Mo Long on the spot with his soul light. Unfortunately, the other party was a venerable immortal. He was very strong and had the power to block his soul eye attack. Once he couldn't kill the other party would be angry and might kill Xie Tian and Chao Jifei. I'm telling you, don't be impulsive. If you dare to act recklessly again, I guarantee that she will immediately turn into ashes. Taoist Mo Long said incomparably calmly. What do you want? Yang Wu said with a calm face. I said, I want you to be captured without a fight. Taoist Mo Long emphasized. Then he said to the Void Immortal Venerable, Void Immortal Venerable, why aren't you using your immortal rope to capture him first? The void rope swept out and bound Yang Wu. Yang Wu wanted to dodge, but he didn't do so. He was really afraid that Taoist Mo Long would kill Chao Jifei and Xie Tian. When he was bound by the void rope, the living beings of the human realm were in despair. They kept shouting for Yang Wu to resist and not give up. Human nature also had a selfish side. When faced with life and death, it would often be exposed. They were willing to lend their strength to Yang Wu because they hoped that Yang Wu would be able to defeat the two immortal venerables in one fell swoop. Now that Yang Wu was willing to be bound, they were extremely disappointed. Haha, you are indeed a true and righteous man. Taoist Demon Dragon laughed wildly. Then, he glanced at the void immortal venerable with a murderous look and said, Go and refine his immortal body. A black hole appeared and enveloped Yang Wu. A terrifying devouring force began to erase Yang Wu's immortal energy. Yang Wu was like a boulder. Even if his body was being torn apart by the terrifying tearing force, and his flesh began to crack and bleed, he still looked at Taoist Mo Long with a firm gaze and said, Let him go, and I'll let you do whatever you want with me. Do you still have the right to negotiate? Taoist Mo Long sneered. The power in his palm fluctuated as more than a dozen immortal nails flew out and shot towards Yang Wu. Puff! These immortal nails were aimed at Yang Wu's vital points, blocking his meridians and major acupoints. His immortal chi instantly dissipated and was difficult to condense, causing his cultivation base to plummet. Immortal locking nail. Zhen Wu, who had just broken through the encirclement, cried out when he saw this scene. Immortal locking nail, as its name suggested, was an immortal nail used to lock an immortal realm creature from exerting the strength of an immortal realm. Once it was nailed to a vital point, the person would be unable to use his strength and would be like a cripple. Zhen Wu was furious and rushed towards the Void Immortal Venerable in an attempt to save Yang Wu. Void Immortal Venerable grabbed Yang Wu's head and sneered, "Zhen Wu, don't act recklessly. Otherwise, I will completely cripple him." "How dare you!" Zhen Wu punched towards the void, shattering a large area of space and exploding stars in the distance. "Why wouldn't I dare?" Void Immortal Venerable sneered. Demon Dragon Taoist took the opportunity to say, "Zhen Wu, you should return to the immortal realm. The matter of the human realm has already become a foregone conclusion. It is not something you can change." "Let my brother go first," Zhen Wu said. "Too naive. We don't have time to waste with you. If you don't leave, I will first cripple Yang Wu and then destroy the human realm. You can't do anything to us," Void Immortal Venerable said. At this time, Yang Wu said, "Zhen Wu, you go to the human realm and guard it for me. I will take care of the matters here." Although he was suppressed, he could still speak. Zhen Wu hesitated, but seeing Yang Wu's determined eyes, he could only quickly rush to the human realm and guard it for the last time. Little Hay and Black Tortoise could not help, so they retreated to the human realm and guarded it in different directions. "Master, you must be fine." Little Hay transmitted her voice to Yang Wu. "Don't worry. Be prepared at all times. I don't want Xie Tian and Ji Fei to appear," Yang Wu replied. Then he said to Void Immortal Venerable and Demon Dragon Taoist, "You just want the power of the world spirit to become supreme existences. Have you ever thought that with the power of one world, only one of you can reach the peak? The two of you are not enough. Don't drive a wedge here. Hurry up and let Envoy out. Otherwise, the human realm will be destroyed." Void Immortal Venerable said, "Let him release her first, then I will let her out." Yang Wu replied, "Hee for her? Why should I let her go?" Demon Dragon Taoist laughed and crushed Chao Jifei's head on the spot. "Don't!" Yang Wu roared madly. He wanted to struggle and rush over, but the immortal locking nail had firmly locked his power, and the void immortal rope had tied him up so tightly that he was bleeding profusely. He was simply powerless to save her, and could only watch as his woman died in front of him. "If you don't do anything, I will send your son to the Western Paradise," Demon Dragon Taoist said coldly. Yang Wu's heart was bleeding as he stared at Demon Dragon Taoist. He wanted to eat his flesh and chew his bones. As a person of two lives, this was the most painful thing. "I'm here. Let them all go." Nvois slowly walked out of the human realm. At this moment, she was extremely weak, and only an afterimage was left. However, she was holding a piece of Heaven Mend's stone in her hand. It contained an incomparably rich power, which was her core power. The Void Immortal Venerable did not even say a word. He transformed into his original form and engulfed Nvois. He even swallowed the Heaven Mend stone. How could Demon Dragon Taoist let the Void Immortal Venerable succeed? He exploded Xie Tian and turned into a dragon shadow to snatch the Heaven Mend stone. The two Immortal Venerables finally began their final battle. They did not have to worry about Yang Wu's existence at all. Yang Wu's eyes were bleeding. He spat out a mouthful of immortal blood which shrouded the front. He then transmitted his voice to Little Hay. "Little Hay, quickly gather their remnant souls. I don't want them to die." Little Black had already rushed out a long time ago, spitting out a mouthful of immortal lotuses, locking down this heaven and earth, collecting the remnant souls of heaven and earth. Unfortunately, they only appeared for a moment, giving Yang Wu an affectionate look before completely disappearing. Master, I'm useless, little He said with a drooping face. No. Yang Wu let out a heart-wrenching scream. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula crazily circulated. The immortal locking nails firmly locked onto him, not giving him any chance to struggle. However, Yang Wu had already gone completely berserk. What power could stop him? An immortal tree in his body released a majestic amount of immortal qi. The power of the immortal leaf knocked away the immortal locking nails on his body. The immortal slaying sword could be activated again. Cut the void rope together with the immortal leaf. An immortal fruit melted in his body. Incomparably dense immortal qi instantly flowed through his body. His strength instantly recovered to its peak and continued to increase. Fortunately, I've borne immortal fruit. Master, I can help you kill the enemy. The immortal peach tree's voice sounded. Even though it was separated from Yang Wu's dantian, it still wouldn't leave Yang Wu's body to survive. In the next moment, an immortal tree appeared in Yang Wu's hand. Its branches were like immortal spears, and its leaves were like immortal blade. Countless immortal qi flowed with all kinds of immortal Dao power. Immortal blood flowed in his eyes as he became one with the immortal tree. The aura he emitted was extremely terrifying. The immortal peach was the #1 immortal fruit of the immortal court. A single immortal peach could allow one to live forever. Any immortal realm creature that consumed it would be able to increase their immortal qi explosively. Yang Wu's strength instantly soared to the extreme, giving the two immortal lords a huge fright. At the same time, the heaven-mending stone shot toward Yang Wu's position. This was Nvua's final attack. Her voice sounded, "There's still one last step before the human world is complete. From now on, I'll leave it to you." After she finished speaking, all of her power completely dissipated. Only then did the two celestial venerables realize that their efforts were all for naught. Fortunately, the heaven-mending stone was still there. This was a heaven and earth wonder stone that contained the essence. If they could obtain it, they could make up for it a little. However, when they felt Yang Wu's power, they were instantly shocked. Quickly kill him. Taoist demon dragon rushed. He held the demon dragon immortal cauldron and smashed it toward Yang Wu angrily. It was as if an immortal mountain was pressing down with terrifying power. The void immortal lord didn't dare to be negligent. The void bell blasted out once again. Other immortal weapons also erupted, carrying endless immortal qi in an attempt to kill Yang Wu. At this moment, Yang Wu was in a state of rapid improvement. The immortal locking nail hadn't completely left his body. When their attacks arrived, he roared, "Kill!" When the last immortal locking nail had completely left his body, the power in his body erupted like a torrent. He waved the immortal tree and transformed it into endless mysterious technique. It completely knocked away the two immortal lords' immortal weapons. It was like a natural immortal weapon, more terrifying than any other immortal weapon. This is the immortal peach tree? The two immortal lords looked at the immortal tree in astonishment. This was a top-grade immortal tree that could only be planted in the Empress Mother's harem. Why was it in Yang Wu's hands? When they thought of Yang Wu's identity in his previous life, they instantly turned pale. There was a rumor that immortal Lord Erlang was the son of the Empress Mother and immortal. It was definitely not a coincidence that he was holding the immortal tree now. Run! This was the only thought in their minds. Not only were they afraid of Yang Wu's increased power, but they were also afraid of the Empress Mother's punishment. At this moment, the immortal tree had reached great success. It was comparable to millions of immortal weapons. With the endless power provided by Yang Wu, the boundless immortal qi cut the two immortal lords' immortal bodies into pieces. Yang Wu stared at Taoist Mo Long and slashed down with the immortal beheading sword in his other hand. He shouted, "How dare you kill my lover and my son? A living being like you is not fit to be an immortal." Asterisk swoosh. The sword force of a top-grade immortal venerable sliced the heavily injured Taoist Mo Long into countless pieces. When he wanted to reassemble himself, the immortal tree dropped down once again. The leaves pinned every piece of his flesh like immortal locking nails, making it difficult for him to reassemble his immortal body. No! For the first time, Taoist Mo Long felt despair. The void immortal venerable was so scared that he wet his pant. He broke through the void and tried to escape, but two immortal weapons turned into a chaotic immortal lightning domain, trapping him within. Immortal lightning bombarded him, making it difficult for him to escape. He reverted back to his original form and continued to flee with all his might. However, the immortal vines broke through the void and entangled him. Even though he had the immortal weapon, he couldn't cut them off in a short time. Yang Wu had already arrived. The three-pointed immortal spear pierced through his glabella with boundless soul force, severely injuring his immortal soul. Yang Wu could defeat all living beings in the same realm, including Taoist Mo Long and the Void Immortal Venerable. Arg! The Void Immortal Venerable screamed miserably. He still wanted to escape using the immortal body severing technique, but Yang Wu wouldn't give him such a chance. The immortal tree dropped down, turning the boundless space into its territory, completely sealing the Void Immortal Venerable. Punish the leader! Yang Wu urged his power. The three immortal spear tips completely destroyed the Void Immortal Venerable's immortal soul, crippling more than half of his strength. The immortal Tao of life and death began to erode his vitality. His immortal chi flowed rapidly, scaring him into begging, "True Lord Erlang, you can't kill me. I hold an important position in the immortal court. If you kill me, the immortal court won't let you off." Yang Wu coldly didn't say anything. His heart was filled with endless sorrow. He wanted nothing more than to kill them, but could he save his loved ones? Yang Wu returned with the immortal tree. The immortal emperors who came with the two immortal venerables had already fled. Countless living beings in the human realm cheered wildly. Yang Wu defeated the two immortal venerables. They were saved. True Marshal rushed out and said, "How are you going to deal with them? They must die." Yang Wu said coldly, "Leave it to me. I'll bring them back to the immortal court. The immortal court will throw them into the immortal prison, destroy their immortal roots, and destroy their bodies. They will never be able to reincarnate." True Marshal said. Yang Wu lightly shook his head and took out the heaven-mending stone. This was a heaven and earth wondrous stone that was flowing with 9 different colors. He wiped off a trace of brilliance and said, "Since they want to seize the world spirit power of the human realm, then let them become a part of the human realm forever." In the next moment, he threw the heaven-mending stone up. The immortal peach tree continuously sent the bodies and souls of the two immortal venerables into the heaven-mending stone. "You're crazy. You want to seal us with this stone? Impossible." Taoist Mo Long transformed into his demon dragon form and shouted, "Let's talk things over. I'm willing to compensate." The Void Immortal Venerable said, "No need. You guys can compensate me now." Yang Wu emotionlessly said. He brought the heaven-mending stone and the immortal peach tree and charged towards the human realm. The closer he got to the human realm, the more boundless power gathered towards him. This was the power of faith. It made him feel as if he had control over the human realm. Refine the immortal and mend the heavens. Yang Wu let out a loud roar and used the power of faith to gather unceasingly, completely sealing the two senior immortals and the heaven-mending stone. This power of faith wanted Yang Wu to become stronger and wanted the two senior immortals to die, which just happened to restrain their rebirth. In this endless life, they would eventually be annihilated by this power of faith, and their immortal chi would integrate into the mortal world, helping the mortal world to restore the perfect state of the great Tao. Yang Wu inserted the heaven-mending stone into the center of the human realm. Boundless immortal chi was released. The terrifying willpower began to fuse the cracks between the realms of the human realm. The human realm finally slowly formed a round astral body, forming a complete world. When this world was complete, Yang Wu suddenly felt as if he had become a supreme being. He was the heaven and earth of this world, the only immortal spirit in this world. Yin and Yang, the 5 elements, wind and lightning, were all under his control. A flash of inspiration appeared in his mind. He had arrived at the sky beyond heaven and grasped the endless laws of the immortal Tao. The life and death lotus crazily flowed, reversing the laws of this world. He muttered, "Xietian Ji Fei revive." In the blink of an eye 10,000 years had passed. The human realm had become the land of the human race. Everyone cultivated to the Jade Moon realm and the 9 Suns realm. Now, the 9 Suns realm was not the 9 Suns realm, but the 13 Suns realm. It was just that the traditional realm was not changed. This was a new cultivation method passed down by the guardian of the human realm. The human realm's martial prowess was not inferior to the immortal realm. It was already on the verge of catching up to the immortal realm. There was a number 1 power in the human realm called the Marquis Gang. Once the Marquis Gang was issued, no one dared to disobey. Countless creatures were proud to join the Marquis Gang. On this day, at the peak of the Marquis Gang's back mountain, there was a youth sitting cross-legged on the mountain peak. Looking at the sun rising from the east, he was filled with vitality and yearning. The corner of his mouth slightly raised, as if he was feeling the joy of all living things reviving. A voice came from behind him. "Father, what's the point of sitting cross-legged here every day? You can sense everything with just a thought, there's no need to guard them like this. The immortal senior won't die so easily. If I didn't suppress them, as long as there was a slight chance, they could have escaped. However, there's no need to worry now. They have finally completely merged with the heaven-mending stone and the human realm. They can no longer do evil." The youth sitting cross-legged replied to the youth behind him with an evil smile. After a pause he asked, "Where's your mother? Didn't you accompany her to the immortal realm? Why did you come back alone?" The evil youth held his head with both hands and lazily said, "Mother already has the strength to attack the immortal realm. She said she doesn't want to borrow your strength to break through and wants to rely on her own strength to do it. She wants to be more outstanding than the other concubines. Why don't you persuade her? Why is she always so stubborn?" The youth sitting cross-legged lightly shook his head and said, "Then," he said, "I'm going to return to the immortal realm. When I come back, I'll bring you guys to the immortal realm to become immortals. That's the best place to become immortals." Suddenly, the immortal chi transformed into a bridge and streaked over from the distant void. An immortal elder came over with an immortal decree in his hand. There were even many heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals lined up on the left and right. It seemed incomparably grand. The immortal elder read the immortal decree with a smile. "By the order of the Jade Emperor, I specially summon true Lord Erling back to the immortal court. He will be ranked among the immortals and will be bestowed the title of number 1 War Immortal of the immortal court. He will be bestowed the title of number 1 Immortal of the human realm." The youth sitting cross-legged stood up and cupped his hands towards the immortal elder. "Yang Wu thanks the Jade Emperor for bestowing this title." Just as Yang Wu was about to cross the immortal bridge with the immortal elder, a beautiful figure quietly appeared. She was like an empress, beautiful beyond compare. She had her hands behind her back and smiled. "Didn't you say that you can bring your family along? How can you go alone, husband?" Not far away, there was also a peerlessly beautiful woman with a jade bow on her back. She lightly said, "I also want to go to the immortal realm." "Mother, aren't you in the immortal realm? Why are you back?" the evil youth blankly asked. "Who are you to meddle in my affairs?" The beautiful woman glared at her son, then looked at Yang Wu and asked, "Are you coming or not?" Yang Wu's smile was as bright as the sun. He fawningly said, Of course, of course. How can I not? Madams, please go ahead. Your husband will protect you." The evil youth loudly shouted from behind, "Father, you're a henpecked husband." After saying that, he laughed heartily and retreated. "You brat, you're rebelling. Scram to the immortal realm with me." "Ah. No, I don't want to go to the immortal realm. I'm so handsome, I'm afraid those fairies will fall in love with me." "Shameless brat, are you as handsome as your father?" "Who's the shameless one?"